But today was bad. Light work, people. Light work. It seems we're soft all over the pitch.
Good morning. Grizz already in the comments. Blame Avi. Yeah, blame me. You know, I was trying to find the right channel because it's on two channels. But I just wanted to make sure me and Conroy were in sync. And plus, Conroy was late, so he'll apologize for everyone.
Yeah, that's my fault. It's my fault.
Welcome to the first. We've just kicked off though as well. Conroy, we've just kicked off to the first sort of African nations watch along between me and Conroy. I did a few last summer when the Copa America was on, and you know, I thought we show the same love to the African nations and the teams that are representing, and I think it's going to be a good tournament. Conroy, sorry, I haven't had my coffee. I'm going to have the coffee now because I've been up since 5:30.
No,
the Liverpool game. Oh, that's a dangerous challenge. That's a red, surely already.
What time are you on the now, Avi?
I'm on 41 seconds. Oh, he's given a yellow card to Yago.
I'm at 1 minute, so I've just paused it there. So let me know when you're at 1 minute, mate.
All right, cool. So yeah, that was a nasty challenge. But Conroy, how are we? Good morning. Good result today.
Good, mate. Is that you at 1 minute now?
3, 2, 1. Yeah, go. So Steve Yago of Burkina Faso, I believe, already on the yellow card. That's a nasty challenge. Oh, that's a
red, Avi. Mate. I'm not even.
Jesus, that's a red already. Oh, what? I don't even know what you call that. Don't even.
No, I can't even find logic to how that's not a red, because see if sometimes when you go into tackle and you lose balance, but there, why is his leg that high? That's.
Just on this, Theo, Thea, it's on Sky Sports main event. I'm watching on Sky Sports main event. Grizz, listen, just go away. It's not your show today, right? 33 watching, guys. Big up, like and subscribe. The usual. That's a nasty challenge. Have they got VAR in this tournament? They have got VAR in this tournament. Nice, thank you, Norma Seguencia. Watch it on CAF TV on YouTube. It's free. So, guys, if you guys are trying to find coverage, Norma Seguencia, watch it on CAF TV on YouTube. So it's free. So, thank you for that.
I'm fuming if I'm Cameroon. That is a red.
My buddy, Avi DeVito. Yeah. Been called all sorts over the weekend. Big up to my guy, Delboy, Delwyn Jones. Big Liverpool fan. That was terrible. I was just doing some research on Cameroon yesterday, and I don't remember if you remember that the forward Vincent Abubakar, who was at Porto, he's a good goal scorer. He's still playing around. I wrote, you know what? I'm so sad. I had to write some notes down.
Because so did I, mate. Don't worry, I've wrote notes as well.
I wrote some notes. I literally wrote some notes down. But Vincent Abubakar was part of the 2017 team that won it in Gabon as well, and they've still got Akambi, who plays for Lyon. I didn't know he was 29. I thought he was younger than that.
Yeah, I wanted to just touch on him slightly because actually he's looked very good this year. Because I was watching this, it was Gerrard I was following to see how he got on, and obviously Rangers played Lyon at Ibrox, and he scored a outstanding goal in that game and looked threatening throughout. So he seems to be a very a dangerous player to have.
He was at Villarreal as well, wasn't he? And then he made the move to Lyon, and he's been like I thought he was like more of a goal scoring midfielder, like a 10, but he does get amongst the goals and he's a good player. But these tournaments now, Conroy, I wanted to ask you a question, and I'm not sure if you will be able to answer, but I'm sure you are. But I just think the African teams in general have got weaker over the years. When I go back to the teams of Senegal of 2002, 2002, you had Cameroon, the players that they roll off the tongue. You know, especially that Senegal team, Fadiga, Diouf, Diao, Ferdinand Coley, Aliou Cisse, Henry Kamara, who was playing at Wolves, Papa Bouba Diop, the wardrobe, legends of the game. And then you look at the Cameroon team back then, Jeremy, Eto'o, Patrick Mboma. You had some good players. But these days, I was struggling to find, Clinton and Jay, who was at Spurs. But it's not as, maybe it's naivety on my part, but there just seems to be a bit of a transition period right now in Africa, especially in the larger nations like Senegal, Nigeria. Cameroon, who are amongst it when they go to the World Cup and whatnot, that they haven't really performed. But Ivory Coast, I'm supposed to have got talent because I was going through their squad and what a squad they've got. I think I've actually put them favourites.
Oh, really? That's a good fact because Ivory Coast have never won the AFCON. That's correct, isn't it? Because because I remember we speak about Drogba all the time, but no one really talks about Drogba. He missed the penalty, not in the final. I was against Zambia. I think we discussed that the other day, Avi. But on today's game specifically, talk about before getting to today's teams, you talked about the African nations. It's quite strange because that's a really good point. You could probably say though that at the moment you've got Premier League wise, like where we are, you've probably got definitely the best player in the Premier League's playing at this tournament, but also from previous years, look at the formula like Mane, Mahrez. So there's obviously kind of high A-list players. Obviously Salah's the best player, but who are it's made it like not a big thing. It's always been a big thing, but it's like highlighted like the level of the player. However, when you actually look at like the amount of maybe the whole teams in this tournament, you maybe could have a good point there, mate, because even though there is some good teams, I would still say that looks like another dangerous challenge there again, man. Oof.
That's on the Burkina Faso player now, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. That was. I don't know if it's the same player, but no, it's not.
So Patrick Mull, just a story on Patrick Mull, who's just been fouled. He's the son of the manager, actually.
Yep.
Of the Burkina Faso. So a nice little fact there already in. That wasn't too bad.
No. To be fair, the reaction made it look worse.
Yeah, I think we've got good representation from the Premiership. Like obviously Basuma. You've got Basuma who's going to be with Mali. Mali have qualified, haven't they? Before I embarrass myself, they are in the. They're pretty sure they are. Zaha's gone obviously to Ivory Coast.
Mali are. Because I looked at it yesterday. They definitely are.
I looked at Ivory Coast's midfield yesterday, and I think their first 11 is pretty handy. They've got Sangare, who I think will play in the 3 with Kessie, and then Jeremy Boga, who's had a successful 2-3 years at Sassuolo, who's a former Chelsea player, and then they've got Sebastian Haller, and then Nicholas, obviously Pepe, and then you got Zaha.
Haller's the big one as well, isn't it? Yeah. Talk about someone in the form. Oh, chance here. Can we edge the box or shot just over?
That's Abubakar. That's our man, Vincent Abubakar.
I remember, this is not a good football fact, but on FIFA, I do remember looking at a couple of years ago, his pace stats. He was quite a fast player. But on this team as well, on the talk about the African nations with representation, do you feel that maybe just in previous years there was more numbers, more variety of maybe players from different top leagues in it? Or do you think it's just maybe a nostalgic thing we're thinking like that?
I just think it might be a nostalgic thing. It might just be because we've got older, we don't get time to watch football. Because back then, I remember we just watched football religiously. I remember still the Nigerian team, Kanu, Daniel Amakachi, JJ Akocha. These names were like, these were like household names out in Europe. Taribo West, who was linked with us. A defender for Nigeria, and then now I think I can't even name a Nigerian now. I probably couldn't think of a Nigerian player.
I think you can name some because obviously Ndidi, Ikinacho, and I do actually know a few. I looked at the squad, but my mind's went blank there. But there is a few. But I know what you're saying. I think like the years like JJ Akocha was box office though. He's probably one of the most. He's probably one of the most skillful players to ever play in the Premier League. Like factually, he was ridiculous.
For Sam Allardyce to get a tune out of him. I remember when they stayed up and they were doing a dance at the end of the game at the Reebok Stadium, and that season, that last sort of 3-4 months, he literally took him out of a hole. JJ Akocha, it was brilliant. And then that team, they had this Bolton team had Pedersen, I believe. They had a few. I don't think Michael Ricketts was part of that era because
I think you had Kevin Davis was there at that time.
Kevin Davis, Ricardo Gardner, they had some good players. Kevin Nolan obviously was still there.
Yeah, of course.
They had some good players. Jussi Line, top goalkeeper. That Bolton team. But Akocha was just at the forefront, and they had Bruno Ngotti, I believe, at one stage as well.
Yeah.
Ivan Campos. That's what Sam was doing. Sam was buying these players.
Was Hierro there for a little bit? Or
Fernando Herrera was there. He did a little stint there as well. Yeah.
Stint, yeah.
Oh. Is he? Oh, unlucky there. I tried around the keeper there.
Yeah, can't be there.
Choupo-Moting as well. We forget about Conroy.
Yeah,
Choupo-Moting is representing Cameroon. Choupo-Moting, I think Ali Saab, Aliye, who joins us every show. Big up to Aliye.
Big up, Ali.
He says he's got the best agent in football. He must have.
Do you know what though? He is a good player though. Like he's not like a poor
He's useful.
footballer.
He's useful.
He is useful. Like he's not like. But you're right. It's a great shout. He must have the best agent because it's like. I think he's good at selling himself because he's one of those players. To me, he seems quite happy just to sit on the bench, and if you need a goal, he'll come on.
He'll come on.
And
but his goal scoring record is pretty good. It's
pretty good, mate. He scored. Did he score in the semi-final or the quarters? I remember he scored.
He's on 8 and 12 for Bayern Munich. Or maybe he's playing in the domestic cups, but he's scored a couple in the league. And I was looking at his stats yesterday. Like he's a useful player. You're right. He reminds me of a bit like there's a player for Bayern. He was actually a really good player. But then the latter stages, he was getting like good moves to Chelsea. Claudio Pizarro. He could just do a job. You just bring him on.
Great comparison, mate. Great comparison.
He could do a job. And Claudio Pizarro was a very, very good striker. Very handy. For Bayern,
to be honest, if
Chelsea,
he was very good. Very good shout. The thing with Choupo-Moting as well, he's happy to go and live a great lifestyle, play great facilities with great football players around him, and he's quite happy just to be that rescue person off the bench. And do you know what? Like all jokes aside, he was decent for Stoke, but his goal scoring record's pretty good. I think he scored in the semi against Atlanta for PSG, I think, or the quarters in the Champions League.
It might have been in the quarters. It might have been in the quarters.
Because he nearly got put out and I think he scored. So obviously a good player. But no, it's a great point by Ali. I wish I had his agent.
Just got I just got a super chat from Tess Tickles. Thank you. Algeria will win it too strong. They were strong last time.
Very good shout.
I thought Senegal were unlucky last time, but they do look strong. Jayton Dutt, just on that Bolton team, Gary Speed, legend, absolute legend of the game. He was part of that
players
team.
in that Bolton team. There really
Good Johnson before he went to. I think that was the first stint under Sam Allardyce, because I'm pretty sure Good Johnson had joined Chelsea by then when Sam Allardyce came up the second time round with Bolton, and then they stayed up.
That
Chelsea by then, wasn't
remember that. Yeah, and then they had
Mo Mohamed, Kamanavi. They've got Victor Osimhen, Manuel Dennis, Ndidi, Inacho, Tayo, Owanioi, and Obi. Fair enough. Nigeria. I'm sure you're speaking about Nigeria there.
They have still got like
depth.
some strong depth. But on the question as well, the point you just said there about what was I going to say? See the Bolton team. I had to say this. We'll move on now. Is it Giancapoulos? Do you remember him?
Yeah, the French guy, Stefanos. No, Greece, the Greek guy.
And he used to just shoot from weird angles, and he was quite a good player.
We were actually linked with him. I think after they'd stayed up, we were linked with him because he was scoring a few goals from midfield.
Yeah,
I don't know who we took a punt on instead of him, but I remember him. He's a short fella, bold fella, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was good.
Greek player. Yeah, we were linked with him as well. Under Benitez.
It was good. As expected, though, Cameroon on top in the first nearly 15 minutes. Ave, obviously they're the host of this tournament. And it's a case of they actually got better depth than you think as well. What I was going to say is, just to clarify, is Unana, is he starting today? Another chance to check
on the Ajax goalkeeper. I think he's starting. He's starting.
Because they've actually got he was a name I saw yesterday that I was looking forward to watch. But just a wee few facts of today's game as well to add. Ave, Burkina Faso. Do you know in actually the last 4 times these two nations have played each other, Burkina Faso have been unbeaten. They actually won the first 2, I think, and then they drew the last 2 games, so they've been unbeaten. So Cameroon have struggled to get that win over them, which would be quite interesting. And another player to shout out for Burkina Faso is obviously the popular one is Tab Soba, and I know you want to talk about him, the Bayer Leverkusen defender, but also Bertrand Traore.
He's not even starting today.
I know. But Bertrand Traore is one who I feel like maybe been forgotten about in the build-up.
Another Cobham boy, isn't he? Another academy from Chelsea, isn't he? And I think just on that fact about Burkina Faso, Conroy, I think they're unbeaten in the last 9. Doing a bit of research, they're unbeaten in the last 9. Tabiko Nakoma, my guy from South Africa, Dennis didn't go, so I think there was a little bit of issues with Watford. I thought that had got sorted out, but if you want to confirm,
Yeah, there was a few things not happening with that. Yeah.
Big up the panel. Yep. Thank you, Marshall. Are you big up yourself too? Thank you for tuning in. Isaac Just Nuts. Evening, guys. Great show. Evening for you. Still morning for me. Literally, like it's 8:15 in the morning. We've been up since 5:30. We'll touch upon the Liverpool game as well. Ali, yeah, we'll have to read one of yours because you always tune in. Egypt will win it, and that will make Salah win the next Ballon d'Or, like Messi with Argentina, Salah with Egypt. It will be great if it'll be great for us if even if Naby wins it with Guinea, but the most likely chance is that Mane wins it with and we'll touch upon Anguissa because I thought Anguissa was good at Fulham, but just on Salah and Mane, it would be great if one of them wins it for the nation. I mean, Mane was unlucky as they were in the final in 27. I think it was the last African nation, which was in 2019. The one that
1-0,
Mahrez,
yeah,
Algeria won it. It would be nice if Salah does it as well for Egypt because Salah's always had a bit of issue with the Egypt Federation. The last World Cup, it was messy.
Yeah.
He got in a very delicate situation where he sort of boycott. There was rumors that he might not play. Just a cross going in there. But it'll be, this guy looks like Mane with that hairstyle, doesn't he? With that blonde streak, the goalkeeper for Burkina Faso has gone out of play. So it'll be good if Salah, Mane return home with the African nation. You can see what it means to them. It's a bit like when Messi won the Copa America with Argentina. That one major trophy for Argentina always eluded him, and because he won it with Argentina, his sort of legacy is now sort of set now with Argentina. He's won a big trophy, and I think Mane and Salah, it means the same to them if they win the African nations. We saw Mane. Was it Mane this week who said something like, I would swap all my medals that I've won at Liverpool for one.
It was,
and that's fair enough. I don't have an issue with that, Conroy, because
I don't think we do. We're not in that mindset. We're not playing every game. We're not, especially the experiences. As you say, you can't act like you know what someone's been through. You're not in their shoes. And I think it's a bit like Messi said that as well. I think they're talking about the Ballon d'Or this year, and he said, "Oh, do you want the seventh?" He said, "Genuinely, I'm content. I've won the trophy of Argentina, which was the one of the biggest things he wanted to achieve. So any other individual accolades really is a secondary priority." And I think I can completely understand that for Mane. However, I've got to be honest. I think Mane's got a much better chance than Salah much better horse. Sorry. Salah's individual brilliance could get Egypt far, but I just think the depth of Senegal's squad, I just think at times in the past, Egypt have just not got through that. He's only one player. I mean, you could relate to the World Cup performance with the Egypt team. I know it's changed a little bit now, but they were quite poor in the World Cup as well. They never got through the group stages, didn't win a match.
Yeah.
I feel like Salah have to have a unbelievable
I think it was because of the wrangles that were going on with the federation.
There was an issue with the management. I know.
Yeah, that they couldn't just get going. I mean, I think Salah still scored like twice in that tournament in the World Cup in Russia.
No, he did, but I just felt like
he wasn't. He wasn't at full
Saudi Arabia as well in that 2-1, I think, or it was a low team who they should have beat. They lost.
They'd lost a game.
So they're very, very poor showing. But on that, I just think it's the depth. He's only one player, and if he can possibly do it, of course he can. But I just think it's a team game, and the squad depth for Senegal and Algeria, I think, will be too much. I know you think Ivory Coast, fair enough. For me, I think Senegal. Maybe
it would be nice if Senegal do. When I was just looking at that squad of Ivory Coast, because they've got a 17-year-old as well that I want to touch upon. For Ivory Coast.
Just to let you know, Avi, it's Coffee who's in goals for Burkina Faso with the haircut similar to Mane.
Pronounce his name again?
Coffee. Or Coffee, which if the chat know.
Yeah. If it's
Koffi, Koffi. So
Coffee. Yeah. There's a player that I think we should have a look at. Is Karim Konate. He's 17 years old. He plays for ASEC Mimosas. He looks a talent. He looks a talent for Ivory Coast. He'll probably get some minutes. And there's another player for them as well, Hamid Traore, that I think big clubs will be looking at. He plays for Sassuolo as well, same as Jeremy Boga. He's a player.
Sassuolo have got quite a few good players.
Yeah, Dominico Berardi's still there.
Yeah, an Italian squad that won.
Yeah, and they've done there's little challenges there. But just wanted to read out some chats. Ali A. Joel Matip would have played for Cameroon, but he retired. I don't know why. Do you know why? He's always had issues with the federation as well. Cameroon, I think this goes back to when he was at Schalke even. Joel Matip. There's a comment in there, Abby, when you sorting that tash out, lad, give that haircut a serious wobble, soft lad. I've got a cap on today, but yeah, I'll sort it out. And I'll sort out the tash for you, Darren. Tune in later on. I'll shorten it up for you. Darren, I won't read out his chat because he's got a funny old name. And then there's one from Jayton. Did you manage to watch Anthony Conroy? So the documentary that's going...
well,
that was released yesterday on ITV on Thursday, Friday, wasn't it?
What's the word when it's like a real life events, but they not dramatize it, but they use actors as the roles to make it to portray it. Jayton, I'm watching it tonight. I never had the chance last night because after I spoke to Grizz last night. I joined because I knew he'd done a surprise show. So by the time I finished that, I was ready for my bed. But I'll watch it tonight and I'll let you know.
Yeah, I think my friend, he's loading it up on my system that I use. So yeah, I'm definitely looking for that because there's a lot of
with the Hillsborough law and stuff, and a lot from it.
Yeah. So it's definitely a watch. But if anyone's watching and you don't have to be a Liverpool fan as well, just watch it. It's education. Educate yourself. Yeah, if anything, educate yourself. I'm still educating myself on Hillsborough, and everything that went on and whatnot. But yeah, it's definitely a good watch. So Diego C. Palace, big up yourself. He's given us the first 11 Cameroon starting lineup with shirt numbers 24 Onana, 22 Ongene, 5 Gadu, 25 Tolo, 8 Zambo Anguissa, 19 Faye, 14 Umgue, 15 Kunde, 3 Muami Nagamelu, number 10 Abubakar, and number 12 Toko Akambi. So thank you for that, Diego C. Palace. Mane,
it's like a bit of a lull in the game now, isn't it? It's kind of feeling each other out now. Cameroon started brightly.
Salah affair, Algeria will win it. They still look very, very strong. This tournament is it still being held every 3-4 years? I know that because of the pushback because of COVID, but is a tournament that's going to be played every 2? They want to make this World Cup as well every 2 years. I just don't understand
2017 and 2019. So I think normal circumstances it's every 2 years.
Yeah. I still remember in 2002 World Cup the Cameroon national team, they wore literally like vests. They didn't have any like sleeves, did they? And the opening game against I think the opening game was against Ireland, the 1-1 when Matty Holland scored. Great game, great atmosphere. And then obviously, South Africa in 2010 when they host the World Cup and the introduction of the Vuvuzelas, which were fun at first when you were hearing them through your TV, but as the tournament went on, they got a little bit annoying. A few people here.
South Africa, what World Cup?
Outside Ashraf, who always tunes in. Did Avi just say coffee cream and samosas? No, I was talking about Kareem Konate, who plays for AZAC Mimosas. It's actually spelled as mimosa. Off the line. Header. I think that was Bertrand Traore off the line there.
I said coffee when it's coffee, how you pronounce his name.
Another good cross.
I thought I was in.
Come back with the ball here. Cross goes in.
Goal.
He scored.
Goal.
That's a good finish. Goal. Sangare has scored.
Burkina Faso, massive goal in the tournament, folks. The number 20 for Burkina Faso.
Here we go. A little bit of samba for you.
Can't beat that. What did we say?
That was some finish.
Last 4 games, Cameroon cannot get the better of Burkina Faso. Wow, and then with their obviously recent form.
That's not a bad finish at all.
This is a lot happening here, though, Avi, we have to dissect. So first, it gets cleared off the line. Then I thought he scored this. I thought he scored.
Didn't it? No,
the bar.
Keeper. But this cross as well, it's a great cross again. Is it Bertrand Traore, I think, from the right-hand side? Swings at the left. Keeper should do better, though, there.
We see a better angle here from it, Avi. Keeper's got to do better. Great finish. I know it's easy to say, but that's coming at him. That's instinct. Great finish.
You see those usually blaze over the bar, but that's a good finish.
It's close in, I understand that, but it's a great finish. And Onana, a lot of potential, a lot of hype, but and he has played well when I've seen him, but that's a keeper's error, I've got to say. Keeper's got to at least punch that away. Do you agree, Avi?
That's an error. A goalkeeper of that quality as well. He's not an amateur. He's been around Europe for a few years now. Plays at a good level at Ajax. That should have been cleared by him.
I
But
know
again, the
Arsenal
finish.
were there was rumours Arsenal were looking at him before they got Ramsdale.
Chelsea were looking at him before Mendy.
Mendy,
They were
but
looking at
signing
Onana
Mendy's been
before
annoying.
Mendy. Yeah, keeper should save that, regardless
What a
of the
finish,
player.
though. Roof of the net. Brilliant finish.
Zingara,
Said,
you don't have his
Onana,
first name.
what's
You don't have
going
his first name, do you?
I've got it here. 2 seconds.
And I'll change the scoreline as well. Thanks, guys. We've got 70 watching.
Gustavo Singari. What a name.
It's got a bit of Colombian, South American there.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Thank God I've got the internet to check because my memory wouldn't be able to remember all the names. But yeah, that's brilliant finish. Really is a good finish, especially in that angle there, roof of the net. Someone said in the chat, Inter Milan are getting an Onana in the summer, potentially.
Who's looking at Onana in the summer?
Inter Milan.
Yeah. And Handanovic, I believe, is still playing around, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's like 40 now. Matic retired. Yeah, that's what it was. He had he did have an issue with the federation. Taib Suarez, good morning. Angie Avi, what's happening, boys? Just here for the first watch along. Nave Parsha, what up, boys? Baji, how are you? All good. Bay19, big up, lads. Big up yourselves for coming on. A lot of people want to mention. It's one here today. We'll touch upon Liverpool game probably at halftime. Typical. Rihanna's. Oh no, what's my name? If I was in a better mood in the morning, I'll probably give you a little bit of a sing along, but I won't.
I'll tell you what though, Avi. First game already a surprising lead. This is what these tournaments are all about. You just the atmosphere, the feeling. I think they're still
under crowd restriction though. You can tell it's not a full crowd. So I wonder what it is, 20%, 25%.
Yeah, but just in general, a tournament, you just feeling like a host nation expected to win the game, smooth. Yeah. It never goes smooth, does it? There's always something happening. There's always a storyline.
I think, what was it? 98 World Cup, we had Scotland and Brazil who started it off, didn't they? And fair play to the Scottish. They gave it their all, and I think it was Cesar Sampaio, or was it an own goal from Boyd that made it 2-1? Scotland were magnificent. And then the 2002 World Cup, it was Senegal and France, the opening game, which Senegal literally lit it up with the goal from Baba Bouba Diop. And then the celebrations, everyone remembers that. 2006 World Cup. What was that game? 2006 World Cup.
2006 Germany. They won that one, I think, because Germany hosted
Costa Rica. Was that the opening game though?
Yeah. 4-2. Remember, Lamb scores the absolute screamer.
Yeah. So that was
Thorsten Frings, I think, was playing as well.
opening game. Then 2010 was South Africa against.
And it was is it to Shabula? What a goal he scored, or I might not pronounce that correctly.
Shabalala.
Yeah, left foot top corner. But then it was against Mexico. Mexico equalised. And then
I thought I did change the score there. I said my mistake. I'll change it now. So opening games have always been. I think opening games have always been great.
Who was 2014? Who had the 2014 World Cup? That was Brazil. Brazil against Croatia.
No. Opening game of where was 2014? Brazil.
I think
was it Croatia 2-1.
Yeah, and they got lucky. They got lucky that game. And I said at the time they weren't good enough to win it, and was proved correct because they got
Croatia had played very well that game. That Germany game. They got 6 in the first half, wasn't it?
But that's what happens when, they're so open.
But I tell you what, they were unlucky with the Neymar injury though, Conroy. I think it was against Chile when he gets injured.
Yeah. But Chile again, they won on penalties in that game. They had a lot of luck to get to where they got to, and then even Colombia, obviously David Luiz scores that amazing free kick. But I don't know. Maybe it'd be better to get put out when they got put out and not get beat 7-1 at home in a tournament. But yeah.
And 2018, who was the opening game of 2018 World Cup?
Where was 2018? That's terrible.
2018 Russia.
Russia. So it was Russia against England.
No, that's not the opening game. Wasn't it Germany who played the opening game?
No, I
Guys in the
think
chat,
you're right.
tell us who played in the opening game of 2018 World Cup. Oh, my memory's gone shot to pieces right now. 2018 World Cup. What was the opening game? It's weird how we remember the old ones, the nostalgic ones.
No, I think you're right. I think I'm getting mixed up. I think when Eric Dyer scored against Russia, I don't think that. I think that was the Euros.
That was the Euros, wasn't it? Yeah, when they
Yeah,
struggled to beat him. It was a 1-1 or something, wasn't it?
yeah,
They
yeah.
scored first. And
Did they
Harry
win
Kane was
like
taking
5? They won like
he was
5-0
taking
in the first
the
game.
corner
Russia,
kicks, wasn't he?
Saudi Arabia 5-0. That was it.
The opening game, bloody. That's why we can't remember it.
Because the
And
big
that's no
tall guy
disrespect,
scored.
but I
Yeah,
just don't remember it.
yeah.
Russia
They were
were
good.
on
They were
something
good in
that
that
World Cup.
tournament. They were good in that tournament. I mean, beating Spain and stuff. Who was the Spanish right back who became Russian national player? Was it Fernandez? I think it was Fernandez when he
They
scored
beat
against
Spain
Spain.
in penalties, didn't they?
Yeah, and he scored against Spain.
But that for me, Russia's performance in that World Cup was very, very suspect, Conroy. But I won't say too much on it.
Shirashev's a good player though. I will give. He was a very good player. He's always been a good player. He was good in that tournament
Who
as
was
well.
that legend that had Yuri Shirkov? He was
Yeah,
Russian. Who played at Chelsea?
played Chelsea. Yeah, left back. He was good. Yeah,
He was
Fernandez
good.
is Brazilian. Sorry, Brazilian Fernandez is who
Was
plays
it
for Russia.
Smolov?
Yeah, Smolov. Obviously, he had
Goal scorer.
Arshavin as well a couple of years before
Arshavin
that.
was Arshavin. Arshavin came to light in Euro 2008.
Well, against Holland when he took
Holland,
the absolute piss out of them. Yeah,
magnificent player.
top players
Magnificent
looking
tournament.
absolutely bang average in that game because he was amazing in that game. Really was.
Vanessa telling us the teams to watch: Ivory Coast, Nigeria, Egypt, Ghana, Algeria. Yeah, I think one of those. Teams will win it. I just hope that.
Can I just add as well, Avi? Sorry, you spoke at the Cameroon. I had a Ghana strip. Remember when Asmo Gyan in the World Cup,
When
the
the
white one they
Suarez,
had. Yeah,
that
but
World
I
Cup,
think they had a white one in that, right? What a strip that was.
they
No,
had
I
a good
loved it.
tournament. They had a
Yeah,
good core tournament.
Boateng as well. You know, Prince
Yeah.
Boateng, Gian. I had a few players because I remember.
Because Jerome played for. Didn't they play though in somewhere along the lines? Jerome for Germany and Kevin for Ghana. They played, I'm sure, in that World Cup as well.
Yeah.
Patrick
No,
Marlowe with the yellow card there, the son.
Brilliant tournament.
Fancy manager.
Brilliant tournament. Getting nostalgic now.
Yeah. For me, USA 94, I still remember that. People tell me stories my dad tells me stories of 1990 when Roger Miller, obviously the Cameroon story, you know, they were unlucky to be beaten by England as well on penalties.
Very unlucky.
You know, they had a great tournament. And that's, you always love a underdog story in a tournament, you know, like Senegal of 2002, South Korea in 2002 as well. Turkey had a great tournament. If you look at that side of the draw, I'm pretty sure Senegal beat Sweden 2-1 in extra time. And then they went on to play Turkey in the quarters. Had they beaten Turkey, they're into the semis. You know, that would have been a great step for African football. To get into the quarterfinals is a great step anyway. But they could have beaten Turkey. And then obviously Turkey lost to Brazil, who were the eventual winners.
Turkey have had a few tournaments like that because in the Euros as well, didn't they? Remember they got to the semis and lost to Germany, didn't they? I'm sure they did when Germany won the. Oh, maybe was that the World Cup when Germany beat them 3-2. And I remember because Lamb scores in the very last minute. They've had a few good tournaments.
It might have been in the Euros.
I think that was the Euros, possibly. That was Spain. That was when Spain won the Euros 1-0. That was it. And they beat them 3-2 because they ended up beating. They scored late goals in that tournament. I just remember because they scored a late goal against Croatia. I think they won on pens. There was a striker in that tournament I never heard of since, but he scored like 4 or 5 goals. Oh, I can't remember.
What, for Turkey?
Yeah.
It wasn't Ilmaz, was it? Hassan Shash?
No, I can't. Honestly, it was an S, but I can't remember. But
definitely wasn't Suke. Suke was a legend. You would have got Suke.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
Hakan Suke, what a legend he was.
Yeah,
brilliant at the top level.
But it was it's an interesting game so far. Burkina Faso tactics seem to be working. Cameroon struggling to break them down at the moment.
Just got a super chat here from LFC. Aaron, afternoon lads. Hope you well, Aaron. Prince Teddy here. Cameroon are so poor on set pieces. There's one from nostalgic from the 2002 World Cup. I watched Turkey Brazil back, and Turkey could have easily. Yeah, Turkey were a dangerous team in 2002. Hassan Sass was a really good, nifty player. Played in like a 10 role. Very good player. Mustafa Mohammed 81 live 69 likes. Get them up, people. Thank you, Mustafa, for that. Something happening in the chat. Just keep it clean, guys. Whatever's going off. Eunice, no, England didn't. They failed to be. Who was it? They got actually done by the Dutch away. I remember this. Ronald Koeman had fouled one of the players. Should have been a red card, but the referee gave a yellow. And yeah, England didn't qualify for '94. That was when Graham Taylor, God bless him, but he wasn't. He was never England quality, unfortunately. Good club manager at Watford, mind, but yeah. USA, I think the first opening game was Germany versus Bolivia, Conroy. I was about 5 or 6, but I remember that. Was
The 94, yeah.
94.
It's really funny that because my friend, one of my best friends, he's actually born on the day of the final when Brazil played Italy.
Italy, oh.
Probably
the worst final.
No, but listen, but his mum was in labour as the penalties were on, so his dad was like nipping, looking at the TV, not exactly what was happening, but just to keep an eye on the score. So that's how I know. Shout out to David. I know he was born on that date when the penalty shootout took place.
That should have been a great final. Baggio was sort of like at club level. He was starting to turn it on with Juventus. This was before he got his Milan move, actually. So Baggio.
Just saw interrupt. Good move by Cameroon here. Ball in the box again. End product, just letting them down.
Bogdan Karolinu. Hope I've said that right, and I've not butchered that name. But the Hassan Shaz Hakan duo in 2002, was fire. It was a really good deal. They had a good team though as well. Nihat, what a player he was. Nihat, who was playing.
Centric, that's it. Was
that the Turkish that you won about? Was it?
Yeah, semi-centric, because he scored some big goals, and Nihat was good. I remember when they were 2-0 down against Czech Republic in Euros. 2-0 down, they're going out, and then they won 3-2. Unbelievable.
Nihat was a really clever player. Played for Sociedad as well. Really good player.
That looked like a pen there, Avi. Looks like potential pen there. Ref never gave it. Is it going to VAR? Balls went out. Yeah, it's going to VAR. We're going to check it now.
Anguissa, a player that I wanted to touch upon, had a good season at Fulham when they got relegated. He was probably one of the bright spots.
Yeah, he looked good. Was he again from Cobham, wasn't he? Is he from Chelsea?
He's on loan somewhere. Where is he on loan? I had it written somewhere.
Avi Bertrand Traore, that looks like a foul to me. I've got to be honest. Silly in the box. Is it enough to I don't know.
Nah,
he's kind of looking for it. He's kind of looking for it.
I wouldn't give those. Yeah, referee won't give that, surely.
Still listening. Again, players are not meant to go around the referee when he's...
But...
You could actually book them off. You could send them off if he wants. It's his discretion. This is the thing. But not a pen for me.
The pitch looks as if it's butchered already, Conroy. If you look at all the divots...
no.
He's going to go to VAR. Wow. He's going to go to VAR.
That wasn't a red card in the first minute, and this is a penalty. That's insane. Come on.
I'm not saying Anguissa is a beast at Napoli. That's where he's at. He's at Napoli. Have you guys heard of Rayo Vallecano before? Yes, I'm sure we have. He's given it. I don't think that's...
Watching again here.
You don't give that Yeah, maybe.
Do you know what? See, in fairness, I think what I've maybe wrong is, see if Anguissa touches that. I didn't think he touched it in the first one, but from that angle I've seen, they've kind of slowed it down here.
I mean, he has taken him out.
Looks like his right trailing leg has caught him. I didn't see that as clear, and I do think that's caused him to fall. So I can understand why they've gave that.
I seeing it on replay again, that is a penalty for me.
That's a penalty. Actually, I hate that phrase. Understand why I give it. That's a penalty. We need to stop allowing people to sit on the fence with anything in general in football. That's a pen. We have to be more affirmative with stuff.
Conroy's that's it. Yeah, that's what we need, Conroy, from you. That is you didn't beat around the bush there. You said nope, that's a penalty, Avi. We've got to stop saying it. Yeah, that's a penalty.
Well, I don't even mean we. I mean in general, people get paid.
Well, I could see something like that in the Premiership get away with it. I could see that getting away with it in the Premiership.
I think see that other angle when he kicked it away and then literally Traore has therefore impeded him from getting the ball. I think that's a pen. Yeah, no, I agree, guys. It is a clear penalty. I completely get it. I just, as say, me and Avi from the first angle, it looked a bit like there wasn't lots of contact. But
so I've just gone with 1-1, and this is without me watching the penalty because I'm just gonna. I trust. I think Abubakar is taking it. I trust I trust him, so I'm just going to go with 1-1 now. This would be hilarious if he did miss, but he's just lining it up now. Yeah, the legend.
Cracking start to the first game.
Yeah.
Cracking half.
But yeah, it must be hot there.
Got to be honest, the penalty stances nowadays are just, they'll try different things, and fair enough.
He's
But,
trying. He's like Johnny Wilkinson, isn't he? He's
but at
trying
least it's not a
put the
straight
hands
run up. They're
together.
the ones that annoy me. Great
That's a good
pen,
penalty.
super.
1-1.
Watch the keeper. See
The
you later, mate.
hosts
What a
have
pen.
brought the game level.
Huge goal, by the way, just before half time. Massive goal. You can keep the score. You've done it.
Yeah, I can keep this good. Yeah. Didn't want to jinx it.
Yeah, on it, I think it is a pen. Like when I've watched it there.
No, it is.
Just watch the keeper. You move first. See you later. When that technique pays off, it's brilliant.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of the strut though. The stop. I think that confuses the goalkeeper when you stop to take the penalty and then you go again. They do say if you completely stop, it has to be retaken again.
Yeah, you can stutter, but you can't.
Yeah.
But having said that, Avi, I think I agree with that. The one I think is like actually brilliant is Jorginho's. It is brilliant, because so many keepers just dive early, and when you take the hop, basically the keeper will decide which way they're going, so you just hit it the other way, and he's perfected it. He genuinely has perfected that. I think there's only 3 keepers have saved a penalty by Jorginho. 3 or 4.
Where can I find the game? It is on Sky Sports.
And I think YouTube as well. It was said as well.
On YouTube as well. What was it? CAF TV.
I think
CAF
TV on
YouTube as well.
Yeah.
If you want to watch it on there. Jack Mayoff, evening fellas, evening to you, Jack. Yeah, we're up to date. Yeah.
Shout out to Prince Terry. Says silly tackle from Traore. The player was not going towards goal. No need to make the tackle. No, I agree with that. I don't know if he's got caught on the blind side and he's just panicked and then left the leg out. But I agree. Really good point, Prince Terry. Someone says the way he runs up. Listen, lots of people have got kind of unique runs up now for penalties. The one I don't get, and loads of players seem to do it now, is they start with a straight run up. I understand why, because you don't want to give which way you're going.
Yeah.
However, sometimes though, when you run, I sometimes feel like you don't get enough purchase. For me, just a personal preference, see like a Harry Kane penalty, I think that's a great penalty kick. He does
a little short run up though, doesn't he? At the beginning,
but see his position. He's ready to whip it. He doesn't care if the keeper sees that. He just knows that if he hits it in that corner 9 times out of 10, the keeper's not going to save it anyway. So, but each to their own. Jorginho's a brilliant penalty kick taker.
Jorginho's good, but funny enough, it was Alisson who saved his penalty, wasn't it, in the 2021 season?
Yeah.
One of the first few opening games of the season. I remember that. Salah was
gave
good.
the penalty away. Yeah.
Salah was good. Yeah, that was Thiago's debut where he passed 55 passes in that half alone.
Yeah.
And then he gives away that foul. Penalty takers. Salah has got to be up there surely in the modern game. Cantona wasn't bad. Cantona was good. Letitia was brilliant. Signori, if you look at European penalty takers, Signori was good. Giuseppe Signori, he was a top quality player, but he's penalty taking.
Ricky Lambert generally probably comes into that. All jokes aside, I know like the levels, but he had
he missed one for Liverpool, didn't he?
Yeah, but apparently that was that the first penalty he missed or something.
Yeah.
I think Letizia only missed one, so Letizzia's probably up there. Jorginho, the comment, I get Jorginho missed one of the Euros, I get that. I just mean, see the logic behind Jorginho's is like, there's a lot of big games and not those ones, I get that, but there's games in a league season where last minute his works so often.
Yeah. Well, the Leeds game is a perfect example, didn't he? He scored 2, 1 late on under pressure, you know?
Yeah.
Italy
I don't understand the Euros, though, don't get me wrong, I do get the Euros. That's because Pickford kind of read him, he'd studied what he'd been doing. But however, it's hard as well, Avi, because like I know people have a go at me because I said this, but see if you just sit there and wait for him, I understand that you might not save it. I just think you might have a better chance if he doesn't connect with it properly into one corner. And I know how fast that is. It's just the ones that have saved these penalties have done that. That's why. But yeah, all good shouts. Harry Maguire and the final, that was some penalty.
Matthew Letizia, as an all-round player, is one of my favourite players. It's just a shame that Glenn Hoddle at that time. And it's surprising that Glenn Hoddle, who was all about flair, that number 10 role, the way he played for Spurs and Monaco, that he could never get a tune out of Letizia. I think he gave him his first cap and just never used him again. But Mafi Letizia could have and should have played at the top level.
But when you hear the stuff, maybe he just didn't want to, not maybe he was quite happy, and people might look at that and say that's
content,
stupid, but he was happy.
But then they will come back to, was he ambitious enough as well? But look, if he's playing for his hometown club, like you say, Conroy, and he's content, like Alan Shearer. Shearer, if he wanted the medals, he could have gone to Manchester United, but he chose to go from Blackburn to Newcastle.
I think winning that trophy with Blackburn,
it was like,
probably is content. Like people joke, like Gary Lineker jokes with the FA Cup. Do you think Alan Shearer really cares? He maybe does, but the Premier League is like a elite trophy to win. The FA Cup's great as well, but for him to win that, I do think he was content with that.
Well, this comes back to, and we'll just touch upon this. But a great shout from Salah, Ofer, Gerard, Shearer, Balotelli, even great. Del Piero. Yep, are brilliant pen takers. Del Piero was a great free kick taker as well. So was
you know who's quite good as well, by the way. Not as good as them, but I just wanted to have a wee note of this, Avi, because this player has a great logic behind his pens. It's Graham Alexander for Burnley and Preston, and since he retired, he watched the interview, and what he said was, it is smart. He said, if his team got a penalty, because he was known for changing how he hit a penalty, so if his team got a penalty before the 70th minute, he would pick a corner and hit it in the corner. But if it was after the 70th minute, he'd always hit it down the middle, because it takes a really, really brave keeper to stay on his line in the middle and after the 75th minute of the game.
And concentration levels as well, I suppose.
A lot of pens. He did. So I thought it was like a really interesting one. Sorry, Avi, you were going to say something before I interrupted.
No, it's concentration levels as well, because the goalkeeper's concentration level,
is that another pen? Oh, no, that looks like a pen.
Bloody hell's giving it.
That's a pen.
These are nasty challenges. Yellow, I think we've had 4 or 5 yellow cards already in the first half. 3 yellow cards.
That challenge should have been a red, like at the very start. I mean, it's been a very a lot of nasty challenges.
Dan Petrescu was a legend, a very underrated footballer. I believe he was at Sheffield Wednesday, Chelsea. Really good player, Dan Petrescu. Great Romanian. Yeah. That Romania team of 98 as well. Adrian Ilya, some good, obviously Hadji in 94, but they had some good players. Gica Popescu, who played for Spurs in Barcelona.
Adrian Mutu was Romanian.
Mutu, he loved a lot of things away
from
football.
But as a player, he did have a few good moments. He was good.
Was he came from Parma, had a great season at Parma, come to Chelsea, had a great 3-4 months, Conroy, didn't he? And then it just spiraled out of control.
Got to say, that's the stupidest challenge. Like, why are you putting a challenge like that when he's running like that?
Bubakar, the stroke of half time, stoppage time.
I just can't believe the player. If you're the manager at the sidelines, you're just pulling. Well, I know he's bald, but you would be pulling your hair out. I mean, that's just, what is the defender thinking there?
Surely he scores this.
Other side.
On the other side this time.
Very, very impressive. Very, very impressive. Very under pressure, captain of the nation. Very well done. Been very impressed with Bubakar. It looks like he's taking a lot on, trying like different runs, linking up, really trying to get his team back in it. And fair play to him, he stepped up.
There's a lot of pressure on him as well, Conroy, because like I said, when I was looking at that Cameroon team, I literally couldn't, like, I can be okay, but these are not household names. Even Bubakar, he had a couple of good seasons at Porto, but not a household name when you compare to the likes of back in the day, like Jeremy, Samuel Eto'o, Patrick and Bo, like, we were discussing past players of Cameroon.
I was Alex Song, Cameroon, and Rigobert Song. They're Cameroon.
Alex Song, his nephew, Rigobert Song, who played for Liverpool as well, who's on the mend. He had a serious health condition. He was in hospital.
I remember seeing that. You actually reminded me that the other day when you said that. Mutu and Adriano at Parma, that's a good shout.
Mike Oxmall, evening from USA. How can it be evening in USA? Because it's Eastern Coast.
No, maybe he's saying because we said good evening.
Oh, good. Oh, yeah. Got it, Mike. Mike Oxmall from USA, Mutu, Adriano Palmer. Adrian Mutu was a good player. But Dan Petrescu, legend. He's an absolute legend.
I mean, I don't know what Bertrand Traoré can play at. It's a clear pen as you're going to get, clear pen.
After a good start, Burkina Faso trailed to the hosts.
2 goals in 8 minutes they conceded, or 5 minutes. That's ridiculous. How's that the manager's fault? They've just collapsed with those 2 terrible. Okay, Bertrand Traore you can understand, but it's still a stupid challenge. But that last challenge is just wow, really poor.
Especially on the stroke of half time, just
No,
get
it's
into
such a
half
great
time 1-1.
position. It's such a great position. The manager, what's the manager thinking right now? The game plan's going great, and then you give 2 penalties away.
So Camus Marla, who is the coach of Burkina Faso, he'll be frustrated. He'll be going mad, absolutely mad at those.
Because the game plan was working, Avi.
Yep.
It was working. Frustrating. Because you're always rooting for the underdog in games, aren't you? Everyone's expecting Cameroon to win. Well, not expecting because they've had a good record, Burkina Faso, but they're the host. That's sometimes like a upset,
Upset,
rooting for.
Yeah.
And
Let me
it's
just
just
change the
yeah.
scoreline again. I did change it. There you go. Half time. We'll quickly touch upon obviously the Liverpool game. Conrad, don't know if did you manage to catch the game?
Yeah, I caught it. I was quite confused though because I couldn't get it on the BBC.
You guys were
sources
having
saying.
trouble because Chris was saying don't even know if it's on or trying all sorts. But he managed to get the game, and then obviously we had it here anyway on the ESPN coverage. But 4-1 ran out winners. I thought we would see some. Obviously, I think we all assumed that there would be loads of changes. 4-1 didn't help ourselves with that early goal. I thought Kanate, I know you guys will probably speak about it more in depth later on Redfellas, but I thought Kanate's marking there was atrocious. I think Bradley lets him go as well. Was it Udal who scored, wasn't it? Was it Udal, someone like Ida?
Yeah. It was a really good finish, to be fair. I thought the movement was good. It's obviously poor defending from us, especially me and Grizz last night are saying secure. But yeah, again, Avi, conceding goals, man. Like every game we're doing predictions, we're conceding goals. Like this one's not really a pivotal thing, but you just can't seem to really. Yeah, again,
you haven't found that sort of
defense
comfort zone, like even at 1-0 in 19, and we go back to previous seasons in the 1920 season and the 18-19. If we were 1-0, even as fans, we felt comfortable that we'll see this out.
Or it had to be an absolute screamer, like a great goal, actually get it ripped apart. And then even when you concede a goal like that, you can hold your hands up. But the goals have been conceded. I mean, for me, Connor Bradley is a right back, fullback. He cannot. Sometimes a cross will get in. I accept that, but that's far too easy. It's not like he's got to the byline. It's not like he's timed the cross to perfection. He's literally went, I'm going on my left foot. And not good enough.
It was too much of a space as well. He just there was too much space, so you couldn't even close him down. But then you want Kanai to be a little bit more alert there.
Great cross. So for where Shrewsbury are, for that left winger, whoever it was, I think the fullback or the left winger. So it's a great cross. Like if
Conroy
like
seems connection. You're there, Conroy?
Yeah,
got
it. I'm just saying for the person just to walks in between the two centre backs. We're a top team. That's not acceptable.
Yeah, and the bright spark. And I think the best thing to come out, Cade Gordon gets his goal today. A great take as well. A great take. It's a good finish, calm finish. I thought he was one of the brighter ones in that first half. And I know there's loads of changes, but he looks as if and I know it's only against Shrewsbury, and we've got to be careful what we say here against the opposition. But he's the one who surely could push next season, Conroy. Good preseason, 18. He'll come across 18, have him in and around the squad, more League Cup games, FA Cup games, even maybe the odd league appearance next season. It'll do him wonders. You'd keep him, wouldn't you? Would you want to send him out on loan or?
Possibly, Avi, just because you've seen what I've done with Harvey Elliott. Now, I have to keep reiterating this as well. Cade Gordon, I forgot. Who was Cade Gordon bought from again, Avi?
Derby. He came from Derby.
Yeah. So, see, our youngsters, and maybe you might think, I'm maybe not looking at this full front, but see, like Harvey Elliott and Cade Gordon, they're signings in my head. Like, they're signings. They're not, as much as they have been in our youth team, it's not like a Cobham thing with Chelsea, and it's not like we're good at finding players. So this is when you compare to Harvey Elliott is a wonder kid. Like people need to remember that as well. Like when he was 16, 15, there was 8, 9 teams trying to sign him.
Teams from
So
Europe as well, Conroy. We
exactly.
forget teams from Europe as well.
So it has worked really well for Elliot because it's allowed him to compete in a league where you're not going to get the niceties or joining a great team. You're going to have to show how good you are. But maybe that could be the season following that, Avi. Maybe just give him some more cup games because he's only, played Norwich and today
And
for
then
us.
he
And
got
maybe
injured, didn't he? He was
got
unfortunate because
injured.
he would have got some game time in the League Cup. But yeah,
Yeah.
today he gets a game, gets a goal. Yeah, it's
I
a
thought it was
kid.
good. I thought his finish was really, really
Yeah.
good. Took it really well. Obviously,
Oh, the
inside
composure.
first time passes in the corner. Really
Kept
impressive. And it's an important time as well, Avi, because I'm thinking, here we go, by the way. We can't. I didn't see where a goal was coming from exactly at that time. Like, I knew it would create stuff, but fair play. I was very impressed with him. What did you think of Connor Bradley?
I thought he was brilliant going forward. And I've
Yeah.
always said this. I think Conor Bradley has that instinct, a bit like Trent, like he wants to go forward. He doesn't want to really be tracking back, getting close to his marker, defending, being under the cosh. I think he is a player that is front footed. He wants to go forward. And I thought he was good today. I thought he was really good. I thought he played well. Crossing, obviously, he can work on, but he had a hand in, I believe, the back heel goal for Bobby. Which Kanate sort of scuffed, and he gets to Bobby, who
Yeah,
Bobby's
no,
Bobby
he
with
got
that
the
back heel.
assist for Kate Gordon, and then he got the kind of assist before the assist. So yeah, attacking wise, he was very influential. I think just defensively, like you have to be better than that.
And he's 17 years old as well,
Yeah,
Conroy. And if Nico, and I'm not saying he'll be able to step up next season, but if we are looking for a replacement, well, if we are looking to offload Nico and he wants to play first team football, if we can get a sizable offer for him, I would maybe get an experienced right back in the summer, maybe in the 28, 29 range,
yeah,
who can give us like a season or two as a backup, who will be able to play as backup, and then bring Connor Bradley along, like 18, 19, maybe send
yeah.
out Bradley on loan for a
Interesting.
season. Have that assurance, that he'll get 35, 40 games, comes back 18, 19, and he'll be ready to, and I'm not saying he's going to push Trent for that right back, but he'll be able to be a stronger sort of deputy. Because right now you wouldn't risk Connor Bradley in a Premiership game if Trent was to get
No,
injured. He
no,
may
no.
lose.
I hear you. I think that's a really interesting take, Avi. I think that might be a good suggestion, to be honest. And he is still very young, of course. So like you learn so much from these experiences, and I think he will keep improving his game. And he has got time on his side because he is properly young. I think nowadays, like 21 isn't really young in football anymore, but he
Yeah.
has got time. So yeah, interesting. And obviously Fab getting the 2 goals, and then Bobby. It was nice to see Bobby score that beautiful finish. It was really good.
Just something that's come up in regards to Liverpool. So Liverpool got Cardiff, I believe, in the next round. Nice, good tie for us.
Avi, can I be 2 seconds, mate? I
Yeah,
just need to switch this
yeah, of
chair. I'll
course.
be back in 2 seconds.
Rival, quoting Dave, OC Klopp, Klopp has revealed that there were a number of false positive tests, and Trent Alexander-Arnold was the only playing with a true positive COVID result. Guys, I won't be able to comment because I don't know too much about it. I haven't looked at Twitter or any news outlets. But Mo, have you thoughts on Liverpool cheating the system? Look, I can't comment. And let's behave ourselves about cheating the system. Until I know the facts, we'll comment on it. I don't know if providing positive results is cheating the system. Like you said, they couldn't actually play. We had a lot of false positives actually. I think the testing kits and whatnot, with these PCR tests and however they do it testing, I just think it's a bit flawed. But anyway, that's for another day. May enormous tets evening. Okay, now I got it. Mo, but thank you for the stream. Big up Africa. Yeah, big up Africa, certainly. We show love to South America, the European teams from their national tournaments. So I thought we'd do a stream for the opening game, and we probably do more streams in regards to the AFCON. Maybe Egypt, cover Senegal, Ivory Coast, because I like the look of Ivory Coast. I really like the look of them. So we'll cover a lot of games, quarters, semis, just testing, just checking. So I've got some news on Thiago Alcantara. Starting a rehab tomorrow from a hip injury. Jurgen Klopp said rumors about him being out for a lengthy period are wrong. Neither March nor end of the season is in my mind. Let's see. let's see that with Thiago. I said it ages ago. Thiago's a great player. I love Thiago, but he's a luxury player at times because of his injury record. And I think just the intensity of Jurgen Klopp's training, alongside Kornmeier and Kravitz and everyone, the backroom staff, coaches. I don't know whether Thiago was the correct move at that point. Lovely player, wonderful footballer, but we can't rely on him. He's a player that, once he gets an injury, I know he's had some serious injuries, Richarlison and whatnot, but some of these muscle injuries, hip injuries, it's too much of a regular occurrence. And he's 29 now. No, he's 30 now, I believe. I think he's 31 in March. So these injuries will just, not get worse and worse, but they'll become a regular thing. And, you need someone reliable, because it's shown in the last few weeks the points that we have slipped up in the games that we have slipped up in. Thiago hasn't played. If Thiago plays the 5-6 games that we have slipped up in, rest assured, I don't think we draw or lose those games. I think we turn a lot of those into wins. Norman Agarwal, Arsenal. Apologies there. Norman Agarwal, Arsenal heads falling off after that false positive thing that was said by Al. I can imagine Arsenal fans up in raw. Yes, Grizz, hi partner. Yeah, why don't you come on for a little bit, Grizz? But I know you're relaxing and getting ready for the show later on. But Cardiff next round. That's a good tie for us. We can probably play a few more youngsters, mix it with the first team. And I want us to go for the FA Cup this season as well. Let's go for the domestic cups. If the league, some people have already conceded the league, which is fine. I think it is a tough task now. If we win our game in hand, it's 8 points. I can't see City slipping up anytime soon. But let's go for the domestic cups. Let's make a challenge, for the domestic cups, for the European Cup, and we can still walk away with a couple of cups, a good finish in the league. I think we'll all be satisfied. There's some people complaining about our throw-ins because we have got, who is it, Andre Gronemark, the throw-in specialist that we've got at our club. Grizz mentioning the panic show. So there was panic amongst the fans in terms of like Thiago and his injury, and people saying he's out for the season. But Grizz said we done the panic show last night, calming the fan base down, which was a great show, by the way. It was a good show that Grizz did last night, late last night. But go and have it a watch, because it was a very informative show with Conroy as well. So give it a watch and a view and a like. Eunice, when is Trent back? If Trent is, if he's got a positive test, it would be 7 to 10 days, wouldn't it? It's not an injury, is it? I didn't hear of any injury. It must be the COVID that you're alluding to, Eunice. But 2-1 Cameroon. Good, feisty, lively start to this tournament. Few yellow cards, could have seen a few reds, penalties, VAR making the correct decision. We've seen goals. We've seen the legend Vincent Abubakar for Cameroon score twice. A good left foot finish from Sangare, Gustavo Sangare. What a name! It's good. Grizz just confirming this week in terms of, I think that's Trent. So he did have was tested positive, the only real positive. So he'll be back within 7 days. Mo, look, big up yourself, Mo. Regardless whether you cheat the city, he's not a Liverpool fan, obviously. Keep up the good content. Love from Australia. Love back. Want to go to Australia sometime soon. One of my favorite players, Conroy, from Australia, Harry Kewell. Absolute legend. Loved him.
We discussed this. Yeah,
loved him at Leeds. It's so unfortunate that it didn't work out. When he signed Conroy, I was over the moon. Like, literally, he did that interview because Milan were after him, Barcelona were after him, United, Arsenal, and then he does this video. And back then you can't copy or paste, or you can't upload these videos. He does a video confirming where he was going. It was pretty dramatized the way they did it. And there's the comment, the broadcaster asks him, "Oh, come on, Harry, where are you going then, Harry? Come on, give us a decision." And he goes, the decision that I've made is to join Liverpool Football Club. And I was like, whoa, like what a deal. And to get him for 5 million at that stage of his career, it was a snip, an absolute snip, because Harry Kewell, during the 2001, 2004 era, he was literally probably worth 15, 20 million back then. Harry Kewell he was an absolute talent, but unfortunate with injuries, weight issues.
Still had a good spell. I've told you before, people forget how good he started. Like
Yeah,
that 03
that
or
first
04
sort of
season
6-7
was
months under Hillier, 100%.
very good. Very,
And he
very
scored
good.
some fantastic goals. He had a bit of a renaissance at Galatasaray when he went to the Turkish league, Conroy, with Milan Baroš as well, who was there.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
scored a bag full of goals. Trent to be back in training in the next few days. Do we have an FPL group? Do we have an FPL group, Conroy?
I don't. I
Fantasy
think
Premier
Grizz is in
There
quite
is
a
his
few. I
one.
think
I don't play it. I haven't got the time. Asad, unless Asad, do you want to
Keith does.
take over
Keith
my time?
100% does. Keith watches it, plays fantasy all the time.
Eyes
Coleman.
Walakome, who's been the best player in the half? It's got to be Abubakar, isn't it? The legend.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Those two
yeah.
calm
Very good.
penalties of either side of the keeper, both of them. Anguissa. I like Anguissa. I like. I think he's a player that Liverpool could have looked at, and people are going to laugh, but like a little bit of like an understudy to Fabinho. Like he could probably he would have settled for a place on the bench. Being relegated from Fulham. There are players out there when we say, "Oh, is there value in the market?" Anguissa's on loan to Napoli, and he's having a good season.
No, that's the thing. Like we kind of spoke about that last night, me and Grizz, and we'll talk about this on the FSG show coming up. Tune in, guys. It's going to be massive. But on that, there is always smart recruitment to be done. You don't have to spend hundreds of millions. That's not the narrative from. There's a lot of signings out there. Oh, by the way, just another shout to one of the players who I realised in Senegal they've got Mendy from Leicester as well as Edouard Mendy.
Good save that.
Yeah,
That was a
Mendy.
good save.
Traore. Free kick there. Left
So
foot.
you were saying about the Mendy?
That's a good save that. I'm saying because you've got Leicester's Mendy as well.
Yep.
The DM originally bought as a kind of replacement for Kante, and it's ended up really indeed he's filled that role. But I remember at the time that they thought there was a bit of praise on him, that he could be a good player. He's been reasonable for Leicester, but
Yeah.
can't really get a game.
Daniel Amate is a good player.
Good play. Is that? I don't think so.
it's a
I
good
don't think
challenge
so. I think he's looking for that there.
Good challenge there. What game are you doing next? Probably a weekend game. It's very difficult for me to do a weekday game in terms of AFCON. We'll probably do something on Saturday, Sunday, hopefully covering a Senegal, Egypt, or even a Guinea game because of my love for Naby. But yeah, we'll try to cover one of those three games if we can. Avi, are you a Braves fan? He's talking about baseball there, isn't he? I think. Surely, Conroy. Braves?
Yeah, it must be. Is it in relation to the hat?
No, these are Oakland A, isn't it?
Yeah.
A because of my name, but now I'm a Red Sox fan. Red Sox in the baseball, and I'm not because of FSG, because of I watched a documentary 30 for 30 on ESPN when they beat the Curse of the Bambino. Great documentary. It's like a 4-part series. You got to watch it, Conroy, if you haven't.
I'll check it out. What's
the
that
Boston Red Sox story when they first won the World Series. It's called 30 for 30, The Curse of the Bambino.
I'll check that out.
Very good. Mo Amaguna. I'm now off to watch the game. Oh, Charlie Patino, take care. Charlie Patino is a big talent, massive talent.
That's going to be an interesting one. Nottingham Forest away.
Yeah, City Ground. No, what's the ground? They are called the City Ground, aren't they?
Yeah, they knocked him out. They knocked him out a couple of years ago, didn't they?
Yeah.
Was it who's the player? Lansbury scored, I think, possibly.
Henry Lansbury. Yeah, he was an ex-Arsenal player as well, wasn't he?
I think so. Yeah.
Mo Beta cover Nigeria and Egypt. When is that game, Mo? If you can give us details on that game, if it's on a Saturday, Sunday, we'll definitely cover it, mate. Me and Conroy will be back. I might even support my Egypt jersey on that show.
That's unlucky play there.
Just kicking off here now again. Burkina Faso. What minute are you on, Conroy?
49th. Just on the 49th now.
Just on 48. I'm on 49th now. It's fine.
Yeah, we're exactly the same, mate, because the Traore free kick was, you reacted at the same time. What was a chance for a break there? What do you think? I could see Cameroon getting another goal, to be honest. This will probably suit them now. Burkina Faso have to come out.
Good little play there.
Went for the first time volley. Unlucky.
Yeah, Cameroon.
Been impressed.
It'll be nice if he can get a hat trick. Opening game. I think opening game, as long as the hosts win, You know, it tees it up for a good tournament. And you want to see always the host. You always want to see them go far as well because of the local fans. It just brings the country together. You know, you want to see this as well. Like, you know, I still remember Euro '96. You know, when England got to the semis against Germany. I don't know how it was like in the Euros last summer, but you know, it brings the country together. From you know, oh, my stream was a little bit. No, it's fine. It's always good to see the host go far. You know, South Korea in 2002 World Cup getting to the semis. It just bodes well for a good tournament. You know, Russia we saw in 2018. You know, again, dubious about how they had a really good tournament, beating some, you know, scalped some big teams as well. My stream has just
So is mine. It's not. So is mine. Apologies, Avi. I've not had any food there, so I'll just chewing a biscuit there.
no worries. You go ahead, mate. As soon as this is done, I'm gonna make myself a nice little egg sarnie.
So how did you get on with getting up today for the Liverpool game?
You know what? I went to sleep about around 1. Went out last night and had a bit of a dodgy stomach because I had a bit of chili food.
It must have been an early night if you got on at 1.
Well, no. It was definitely no, because I wanted to get into bed by about 11. I thought, give myself about 6 hours, wake up at 5, have some black coffee, and then start watching the game. And then I sent you lot pictures on WhatsApp that I'd already done the stream and designed it and whatnot. And then it's impossible for me to sleep before midnight. So I just stayed up, went to bed about 1 a.m.
Especially at the weekend.
Yeah. Went to bed at 1 a.m. Woke up at 5 and I was struggling. I was going to say, Conroy, you know what, let's leave it. But then I thought, no, we've already said yes to it. And I think you said it as well last night on the show, saying that we would do the watch long. And I was like, nah, I can't back out now. Knowing that Grizz won't be able to make it because I know he's out and about.
Just got a subscriber there.
Yep. You wanna? Oh, no, don't even pronounce it. It's not. Read it and break it down because I've just been caught out myself.
Yeah, no, I'm going to leave that one. I'm going to leave that.
I was going to say to you, go and read it out.
It's not. I don't think that's. I think that's maybe. Yeah.
But listen, if they have subscribed, and that is your name. Listen, fair play to you. Fair play. Oscar Wolf cover Malawi versus Botswana. Listen, we'll do it. We'll cover any game. If it's on a weekend, we'll cover it. We'll cover the game. But if they have subscribed that name, Conroy, fair play to them.
Good shit, because I was about to go for it.
Yeah, I was about to say, you want to have a go? I've already been caught out.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Bots are still alive. Good to hear. But yeah, any player that takes your fancy here for Liverpool? Any player that you would like to look at? Conroy or
to be honest, genuinely, no, I think it's been okay. I think it's been very physical and aggressive. Well, aggressive, but it's been very physical. More, and I don't mean just like, you know, pressing. I think there's been a few challenges that would probably, especially that first challenge, I can't get over how that was a red card. But I think since then, it's like obviously both teams want to do well, they want to win.
That's one of those challenges really early in the game, in the first sort of 50 seconds, you can't give it. I'll come back to the Harry Kane challenge on Robertson. No, but I'll come back to the Harry Kane challenge because it was so early in the game. The referee didn't want to give it. He just didn't want to give it.
That should never. That's not relevant.
It shouldn't be. No, it should. It shouldn't come into your thought. It shouldn't.
Like Manny should have got sent off the other day against Chelsea. 100% should have got sent off, in my opinion. People disagree, but it doesn't matter what time it is. If that's a red card, it should be a straight red. It should be a decision given. But to be honest, Anguissa is like, just since we're talking about that, the type of player he is probably something that I would welcome at Liverpool as well. I was impressed when he was at Fulham.
On loan, like if he's on loan at Napoli, it would have made sense. I'm not saying that he would start every game, but give him a few appearances. You know, like we are short when Fabinho goes missing or he gets injured. You know, a player like that can come in and, you know, tidy up. Yeah. You know, and he would be happy to play sort of second fiddle. You know, the squad that he'd be around. But look, he's doing well at Napoli. And I think you'll probably be yearning for a move next summer. If Fulham come up, he'll probably stay. He'll probably be able to get into that midfield again.
Yeah,
they'll probably need him, to be honest.
Bertrand Traore with the free kick here. Oh, what a save!
And he's cleared the lines.
What a save by the keeper there! I think it's
Cyril. Good shot.
Great block. What instinctive, still a good save though. Yep.
He's a good keeper, Onana. He's a very good keeper.
Yeah.
Yeah, no worries. You can unscribe. While you're at it, let me block you as well. There you go. No worries. I love these bots, It tells me that, they've got a great life. You know what I mean? That Marlowe's impressed me, That Patrick Marlowe, the son of
Yeah, the
the
son, yeah, he's been quite
manager.
good.
He's not done too badly. Bertrand Traore, though, Conroy, went on loan to Ajax. I think he was at Vitesse Arnhem as well, because Chelsea have got that link up with Vitesse, Vitesse, haven't they? Vitesse Arnhem. And then he comes to Villa, scored, I think, 8 in 38 last season. Hasn't really got going this season. Is he a player that Gerrard would fancy? Because they've just loaned Wesley back to Brazil, haven't they?
Yeah, I think it's only a Traore. Like, you can tell he's came on and had an impact in certain games, especially when I've watched him. I'm not saying this season, but in the past he scored the winner against Chelsea, didn't he? The last game of the season. Aston Villa won 2-1 and scored against Chelsea. I feel like it might be one that Gerrard would look at. However, I wouldn't be surprised either way with that one. I mean, he might himself, obviously playing African Cup of Nations, the talisman for Burkina Faso, he might be wanting more regular game time. What type of team would you think he would look to go to? Because I think there would be a few suitors.
They spent like 17 million. You know who could do with him? Someone like, because of his stature, because I think he's 6 foot, isn't he? Someone like a Norwich, I think, would do well. Because I know they've tried the Pookie experiment, and look, Pookie's a great goal scorer in the Championship, but he hasn't converted that. I know he had a good stint when they first came up under Farke, and he had a good 2-3 months. He was scoring goals, but the goals dry up. And something like Traore, he offers a plan B, as you can say, but like do you remember Niall Quinn and Kevin Phillips for Sunderland? Something like that along the line, like Traore and Pookie, maybe change.
No, I get that. He can also play in the wing as well. He's a bit versatile. He can play in a few different positions. I get that shout. I could actually maybe see him going to. I'm trying to think off the top of my head, but I was just wondering. Do you think? Nah, not really. I know Newcastle are spending. You think Newcastle would look at him as a potential player to have, but they're probably wanting for out and out number 9, aren't they? Like, who's going to guarantee a lot of goals. Norwich a decent shout. I could see that, mate.
I think Newcastle, they probably might be looking at someone like Origi, I reckon.
Yeah. Who's a proper a number 9.
Number 9,
in the box,
yeah.
to keep them up.
With Traore, people will look at his goal scoring record and say, it's not great.
Yeah, because
he's a 17 million pound. It was 17 million pounds. I think it's big money.
I know.
It's relatively big money for a player of that stature. Big money just on the attack here.
I could maybe see him going to Europe, to be honest.
Europe, yeah. A loan move somewhere.
I could see that.
There's another player as well for Burkina Faso is Mohamed Konate. Don't think if you're just going to check he's on the bench. I want to know what happened to Edmund Tapsoba, because he's not even on the.
I don't know if it's
on the bloody bench.
I'm just having a look at the lineup here. So, what was the player you just mentioned there?
Mohamed Konate.
Konate, he's not in the starting. I'm just looking at the bench now.
He's number 11. He's on the bench.
On the bench, yeah.
But Tapsoba, he might have caught COVID. I don't want to confirm that or say that out loud.
Well, I know there was a lot of big
cases, yeah. Oh, they're on the break, yeah?
Hype for him to come in as well. Cameroon on the break here. Ball in, slid 2. Shot away. Great save. Rebound in. Goal.
Oh, there's a hat-trick. It's a hat-trick for Vincent Abubakar. Brilliant.
Oh, offside flags up. Flags up, Avi. But I think it'll be reviewed.
VAR.
Is it the original pass?
Is he up?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Looks level.
Yeah.
The shot. No, he's onside with the shot. I think that might get reviewed. It's the original pass.
I think he's on there. He's got to give it. He's got to give it a little bit. He's got to give that on. And this way.
Need to check it, surely. No, I know they'll check it like that. They'll check everything with VR.
That was a quick decision to call it offside. Have they?
No, he's looking at it. Bear in mind, folks, VAR check everything, every decision. It is tight. It is very tight. I just think that I think the right leg was leaned out by a defender, potentially putting him on. But you know what it's like? It could be just off as well, putting the lines.
I think it was Steven Yago, who kept him on. Was it there?
Referee.
It'll be good if he gets the hat-trick, takes the match ball home, opening game.
Still checking. big goal for them, because the Burkina Faso pressing, the Onana just making the save. It's a big moment in the tournament here, folks.
Who do you guys having winning the AFCON? I think Cameroon might win it, especially because of the host nation.
Good shout.
Conroy,
You
Conroy,
think I agree?
who is your pick?
I think Senegal could
Senegal?
could do it. I could, just the squad depth. Algeria, though, let's be honest, Algeria, especially Mahrez. You can just see Mahrez turning up and being
I think they
outstanding.
still have Yusuf Attal as well as their fullback.
Yeah.
They've got a good squad.
Slimani as well.
Slimani, who was at Leicester, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was scoring goals in Portugal, I think, as well for fun. Sporting,
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, it was. Right, we're getting a decision here.
Just on Nagamalu right now. Surely they give it after waiting this long. It can't be that tight. So in this decision, Conroy, when they're mulling over minutes and minutes, surely you give the benefit. You give the benefit to the attacking team, right? Surely.
But it's
If it's that close,
but this is not a benefit decision. This is an objective decision. So it's literally yes or no. So,
but no, if they're reviewing it and if it's fine margins, if it's literally like, millimeters, give it to the attacker.
But it should be the case of it's like me saying it's 4 and it's 3, it's that clear. Like as much as small as it is, if it's offside or onside, it's objective, because there's always going to have to be a line somewhere, Avi. Because then people will start saying, well, how much do you give the benefit of the doubt? Because people don't care. People are always looking to gain advantage somewhere. So I think the way they've done it in the Premier League, how they've added the thicker lines has helped a lot. It's made it more clear. But I don't know if there's an issue here why it's taken so long, because it's objective. It's not like a clear and obvious. It's objective.
I tell you what's a worry. The challenges that we've seen, you just hope that Salah, Mane, Naby as well, especially Naby, because I don't even know if Naby can play every 2-3 days. You just hope the challenges are clean. You don't want to see challenges like that we saw in the first half to any of our players. You just want them to come home safe. So, yeah. No, it wasn't given. It wasn't given. The Reigns 2-1. Yeah,
that is interesting.
Steven Yago from that side.
Interesting one. Yeah, interesting decision.
They'll still fancy themselves getting a draw here, Burkina Faso.
Yeah, definitely.
It
looked offside in the first play, but then when you slowed it down, the defender has the back leg hanging out. I wonder if it might have just been the Cameroon player's shoulder was slightly further, but it looked onside to me.
You're going to have to push a little bit.
Yeah, Burkina Faso. That's a poor ball, but obviously
they've got another Tap Sober, I think, up top, haven't they? Alicio.
That's his brother, yeah.
Is that his brother, is it?
Oh, I checked. It's either his brother, it's a relative, definitely. And
Abdul Faisal.
Yeah, he can play in the left wing.
So
they're showing us the line.
This is what it was given for. Okay.
So it's this rebound was offside.
Yeah.
Fair enough. You show it. I can accept that. Frustrating, though. Frustrating.
Just pushing ahead now with Cameroon.
Yeah, Cameroon. Okay, try and get that goal and kill the game off.
Oh, he's pulled up there. It's that little by Belati Toure.
Any players you've seen who've caught your eye?
Just Anguissa. I liked Anguissa, and I was looking forward to seeing Tapsoba. But just another one with the Mohamed Konate, number 11, who hopefully we'll get to see a bit of if he comes on. But no one really would I sign him? Bertrand Traore is a player, but no one that I think could come in and do a job at Liverpool. Apart from Anguissa, I think Anguissa is a nice, tidy player. Covers a bit of mileage. I do like the look of him. Do like Anguissa. I think he's 24 or 25 as well, so still young.
No, I think that's a good shout, mate. I've got to be fair. I think Abubakar is really impressive. Abubakar, sorry. Very impressive.
Just on that, Nigeria versus Egypt is on Tuesday, unfortunately. So, yeah, it'll probably be difficult for me. But if Conroy and Grizz want to do it, or Conroy or Evan or Big K, then certainly they can definitely do it. But yeah, we'll look for another Saturday, Sunday game next week. I wonder when Guinea are playing again. I don't know when Guinea are playing. Guinea. Did you see Luis Diaz yesterday, Conroy? So they were losing 2-1, and then 5 minutes to go, he just turns up, scores a goal. Great finish with his left foot, actually. And then he sets up the winner for...
Guinea, sorry, Avi, Guinea play tomorrow, mate.
They play tomorrow?
Malawi.
Yeah, Malawi, okay. So we'll see Naby tomorrow. Naby and Amadou Diawara, who's a good player for Napoli. He's a player that I would definitely look at if we were going to think of offloading Naby because of his injury record. And, you know, nearly got stuck there. But yeah, Amadou Diawara for Napoli, I believe he's another good player that I've always been impressed with. Played a few times against us as well in the Champions League. Question here, but yeah, Luis Diaz yesterday, he was brilliant again. This is his 15th goal of the season. 25 looks like an injury there.
Did he get the assist for the manager's son's goal?
Yeah, Francisco Conceição. Yeah, he got the
basically
assist as well.
dragging it on the left-hand side, beating a man, whipping it in. He's stepping up when he has to, stepping up when the teams need him, dragging them through it. And left, right, left side, brilliant, superb.
And people say, "Oh, it's too much money. We can't justify 52 million." But you know, it's a risk because he's from the Portugal. I think that's absolute bollocks. You know, he's been watched for the last 18 months. He had a great Copa America. You know, and people say, "Oh, it's the Portuguese league. It's a big risk." We took a risk on Jota, Conroy. 45 million for Liverpool on Jota. Doesn't matter of the payment structure, whether we paid 3 million advance or whether we paid 4 million in advance. That's still big money. You know, we still went out and spent money on Jota. You know, and it could have gone wrong, but it hasn't. It's been a successful.
I'll be 2 seconds, Avi. Just something with those 2 seconds.
That's fine. But yeah, all this narrative that Luis Diaz can't do in the Premiership is absolute bollocks. He's dynamite. He's ready. He's explosive. He's the heir to Mane's throne in that Liverpool team eventually. Mo Mohamed Avi, we got a push for Amin Guri to Liverpool. And it's funny because Amin Guri is another player that I like, and today he gets an assist and a goal as well for Nice, similar times as well. So it's funny. Amin Guri would be the second sort of tier that I'd look at if we couldn't get.
You tweeted about both yesterday, didn't you?
Yeah.
I love talking about European football with you, Avi. I really do, mate. It's you're just on it, even though you're a busy man with work like myself. You still take your time to look at it.
I do European football. You know, it's sometimes easy, and I know people say, "Oh, you just watch YouTube compilations." I do watch YouTube a lot. You know, on young players. You know, I like youthful players, like Gavi of Barcelona. I think he's going to be a wonderful player. I know Pedri gets the plaudits, but I think Gavi is the one who will really step it up and be Barca's future. Yeah. Just Zizi Kusambas, who's a regular in the chat. So good morning to you, good evening, good afternoon. Senegal, Ivory Coast, and Algeria have the best squads. The first two especially have better squads than most European teams. Yeah, I think Ivory Coast, for me, I just think they could win it. Are my personal pick. But Algeria, like Conroy said, some great players.
It's going to be very interesting at the World Cup, folks. I'm very looking forward to seeing how the African nations get on in the World Cup, because I feel like I agree with that comment. Sissis is always great comments in the chat. That's going to be very interesting, because I do feel like the squad depth for the African nations, as much as we were say at the start, maybe nostalgic view, the JJ Okochas and stuff like that, but when you think about the depth some of them have got and the players, it's interesting, because some of the European nations are not as... There's definitely weaknesses there, and obviously on your draw, it's going to be very, very exciting.
Just sorry to interrupt you, the Choupo-Moting is coming on now.
Coming on. Or the best agent alongside Ali is the best agent.
He'll play alongside. And Clinton and Jay's on. I didn't know Clinton and Jay was started. Obviously, the ex-Spurs man. So, Choupo-Moting and Abubakar now up top. Probably want to see the game out now and score another one. Tushemani is captaining Monaco right now. Just on Tushemani, I think you guys did a show, didn't you?
Oh my God, what an effort that was! Wow.
That's Clinton and Jay as well. Yeah.
Well, by the way, he's heard your comment. He's like, "I'm going to hit this top corner." What an effort that was! He didn't need to hit that first time. That's a player with confidence there. Wow.
Mo Mohamed saying there's another player that caught my eye last season as well. Elliot Mataza, who plays for Monaco. I mean, if Schumann is big money, I think we should have a look at this Elliot Mataza's 19 or
What do
20.
you think? It's a similar sort of
A similar player, a little bit more combat.
Konate Upamecano situation where everyone's talking about Upamecano and we come in with a Konate purchase, something like that.
Something like that, because he's and that's a great shout actually. When clubs and Liverpool might have
Takes their focus out of the way and you can get the deal.
it wasn't Upamecano they wanted, it was Konate wanted. I
Yeah.
think something similar could happen here, because I think Elliot Mataza, I did a show on him on a previous channel, on a scout report on Elliot Mataza, and I think he's the one, a bit more combative, a little bit shorter, but he's very quick. Reminds me of a little bit of Kante, Conroy. I don't want to put the mockers on him early on,
Yeah.
but he's a very good player. But
Similarities
his
there.
career.
Yeah, it's Kante's. It's a hard one because Kante's just out in his own.
He's
isn't he?
unbelievable.
But,
Yeah.
but shouts in the chat as well from Mohammed Simakan of Leipzig.
Yeah. He just joined him last time. Yeah.
I'll need to check. Listen, I'll check them both out. Listen, I do watch European football, not as much as Avi and as much as the chat, but I do really try. I've got BT Sport. I try to catch as many games as I can. To be perfectly honest, but with Messi moving there, I catch a lot more French football than I usually do.
Yeah.
And I will. I think he's playing tonight against Lyon tonight. I'll try and catch that game if I can.
That'll be a good game as well.
Yeah. I don't know if Messi's playing because I know he had COVID. But on the Diaz thing, I have to talk to you about that, Avi, because you mentioned it. The thing for me, mate, is I do agree. I really do like Diaz, and it's funny because see, after the Anfield game, I thought he was really good. Like, and people are saying Milner had his back pocket. He done that defence about 4 times in the first half, and they couldn't catch him. I think it was at Konate he done as well. Like, they couldn't get near him. I know second half his decision making wasn't great, but I've seen enough. The problem I've got is, what do you rate the purchase realistically? If they dropped that down to 45 million, I think Liverpool would 100% be in for him. But it's the numbers are talking now. I think they might just look elsewhere. That's the problem.
See, look, if we had the money, I would pay top dollar for him, Conroy. Because we need to, sometimes when you keep looking at players in that range of 35 to 45 million, and, especially the terms that we want to pay, sometimes it doesn't always work out. We've been lucky. We've had a good system and the analytical team. Yes, I totally agree with that. But if he is 57 million, 55 million, 60 million, you got to pay that because another team will. And when another team does, say of City's ilk, if they buy him, he's only strengthening them.
So who else do you think would be in for him?
See, if I'm looking at someone on the left-hand side, he can play
Chance for Cameroon, Poland.
It's difficult because you've got Vinicius.
Sorry to interrupt, Avi.
Yeah.
Shot, block, corner. Sorry.
You've got someone like Real Madrid who've got Vinicius. Barca have got that. Barcelona, if they had money.
Barca just got Torres, so I can't say they won't be in.
Yeah, they've got Ferran Torres. It'll be interesting to see where Xavi will play him. Whether he plays him
false 9, I
as
think,
a 9,
similar to
false
Luis
9,
Enrique did
off on the left
in Spain.
But you look at what City did, right? Look, Nolito wasn't good enough, sold him. Ferran Torres, Pep had him for a season.
It's an interesting one, Torres, but I think it was more, in fairness, I think Torres wanted to
sort of go back to Barca.
Because he wasn't great for City, but he was still young,
But you see someone like Pep, like even with Aguero, like Aguero probably, and we know his heart condition, but prior to his heart condition, he probably thought I could do another year at City. He probably thought I was good enough, but Pep made that decision and said, no, I think it's best for both parties. Oh, I thought I was in.
There's your man.
Anguissa.
What an effort that was. I thought he sealed the game there, Avi.
And like
impressed.
He gets rid of players who are not on that level, and I think Klopp needs to do that sometimes instead of being over reliant and showing loyal to these players. Like, phase these players out a little bit. Fergie was great at it. Fergie sold players who were at the top: Kanchelskis, Beckham, Verons, Van Nistelrooy's, who are still sort of scoring goals.
I know, but it helps when you can bring someone new in every 3 years, like a top signing.
But Conroy, we can do this.
I get it, Avi, but I agree with the Diaz thing, mate. And see, to be fair, right? I don't think anyone's going to come and pay 80 million or 70 million for Diaz. I think max someone's going to pay 50 million. And but right now, I don't know who would. I don't know who's going to go in for Diaz. Maybe do you think maybe like a German team, or do you think it's just mainly the Premier League who are looking at him?
The only German team I can think of is Bayern, but I don't think they'll be in for him. No. It is only like Premiership, maybe like It depends on the player's ambition. Look, Newcastle will come in tomorrow and gazump us all and give him like 200,000-300,000. Say, look, we want to build a team around you. But then
Yeah.
he's got to think, this is like a 3-4 year project. He's 24, 25. He's going to be 25, I believe, at the end of the month. He's got to look at the now. And Liverpool need a player of that ilk right now. Man United even might need a player of that ilk. He's just not a player who can play on the left. He can be a false nine. I've said that he could be the next Suarez for us. In that false nine, the work rate, the tenaciousness, just the sheer sort of power that he brings. Or even on the right hand side, gives Salah sometimes a break, even though he is right footed, but he can play on the right as well. He can play operating a fluid three. And I think for me, he is a player that, for me, he ticks every box.
Because I think from what I'm hearing is like we're the ones who are more interested than anyone else. So I don't think it's going to necessarily be a war for him, like a price war, so a price race. So I feel like maybe Liverpool know that and are maybe looking to get a deal. For me, mate, I think you could go up to maybe 48, 50 million and then that's it. I think there's other players you can get for a similar price.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit cheaper.
Well,
but I
Dan Juma was the
understand.
flavour of the month all of a sudden. Dan Juma.
But Dan Juma, we missed a trick there. We missed a trick with the
You like him,
snobbery.
Conroy?
Taking a nose up, because if you watch like the championship in that season, he was, when they finished in the playoffs, he was superb. Some of the goals he's scoring, but most Premier League teams put their nose up at championship players a lot of the time. So we could have saved probably about 30 million, because we could have got him for how much? 25 million Villarreal got him for. That would have been a great signing. But now he's probably going to cost the exact same as Diaz,
50,
because
60,
he's only signed in the summer. So you think Villarreal are going to say, oh, here's 30 million. No, they'll be saying, Dutch international, Champions League player, we want 50 million. So
I think someone mentioned this, or it might have been Jayton, that again regarding Michael Olise, another player that we looked at when he was at Reading. We looked at him and we had a good relationship with him because
Jayton did mention he did in the chat. He said that.
Ovi Ajaria had gone to Reading, so we negotiated a deal for his sale. So there must be good relations there. Olise was looked at Liverpool as well, and you think, why haven't we never in recent
Why not
years
take a chance, mate? Why not take a chance?
I'm in the same boat.
Eze from QPR. You okay, mate? Oh, it's mate. But as Avi was saying, there's so, in recent years, we need to stop putting our nose up at the championship. There's been far too many examples as of late where championship players have came up and proved to be
little break it.
outstanding.
Oh, he's got to square that for promoting, surely, Abubakar.
He's skydust. Oh. Cameroon, I hope they don't regret these.
Chances, Good little. Oh,
so realistically, do you think Liverpool can get Diaz in the summer? That's a terrible finish.
Realistically, 100%. People talk about this guy, and we'll come back to Diaz. Patson Daka, I wasn't sold on him. I think from Austrian League, the only player to come out there, Hwang's a good player, don't get me wrong, for Wolves, who's come from Salzburg, but Haaland was an absolute beast. But the players who have gone to Europe, like I look at Szoboszlai, great talent, but he's yet to do it for Leipzig. Obviously, we took a punt on Minamino.
That was worth it, though. That's worth taking the chance. That's you don't really lose in that signing.
No,
if he's a bit part player at 7 million.
But Daka again, I just don't see it. I don't see.
I could see him kind of being all right, because seeing the Europa League and stuff and League Cups, he has looked like. Sometimes it takes a year, but I do think he could be a threat in our team because his pace, especially. I know people weren't sold on him. I get it, but I think he might do better at Leicester next season. But he's been okay this season. It's 12 goals he's scored.
I suppose you've got to give that first season sort of like, let him bed in and stuff. He's got a few goals in the League Cup, I think. And
Soumare as well is another one. You probably need to give a bit of time to bed in.
Soumare's a good player. He was linked with Chelsea before he got the Leicester move.
I think, was it you said, or who said it was at the Liverpool Leicester game they were at it, and you don't actually realise how fast Daka is. In the first 15 minutes, he was rapid. And you don't just sign someone on pace. I completely get that, but I feel I'm kind of in between with Daka. I feel like he's good. He's not as good as people were backing him who really wanted him, and he's not like as average as other fans were saying. Well, you know what I mean? I feel like there is an in between with Daka. But I don't think it's one we'll regret. I just think he'll be a reasonably good player.
Yeah. And how much was Daka in the end? 15 million? Was he 15?
I think it may have been a bit more than that. I can't remember. I'll check now. Give me 2 seconds. I'll check.
But just coming back to the summer, we say it now. We've been saying it for the last 2 summers. Liverpool need a hell of a summer now. Otherwise, we're playing catch up, and we're looking at 3 genuine. I would say genuine. Nearly almost on that cusp of being world class. Luis Diaz would be one. I've seen some
$30, $30 million.
30 million. Okay, that's a lot of money for.
So I don't know, 27 million or.
Yeah, that's a lot of money for Dak. Okay, I didn't know it was that
I
much.
think so. 23 million.
23 million. Okay,
Yeah,
20 million.
maybe looking at add-ons as well.
We'll give him another season. But yeah, coming back to the summer, Conroy, it's imperative because you got to remember it's Klopp's penultimate summer, because next summer we won't go big, knowing that he won't be here in 2024. So this summer is Klopp's biggest summer, and it depends on how much of the purse strings that they want to loosen. Henry and co. Diaz is one player that I would like. Bellingham is another. But have we got that kind of money outlay to go and buy 3 players? Then we've got to look at the squad restriction as well. We need to have a squad of 24, 25. Then the whole, homegrown rule. There are a lot of factors and logistics that we need to, and obstacles that we need to overcome. People think, oh, it's easy, go and buy 3, 4 players. It isn't, because you need to make sure you have the right numbers and play by the rules. But we do need,
absolutely.
I would say, 2 big players in the summer. 2 big
Absolutely.
players.
Just to add in, there was a VAR check there. It looked like a handball with the Cameroon defender. Burkina Faso were appealing, but VAR check played on. All good. To be fair, I don't think that's a handball. I think he's looking at the ball. His arm, it didn't look unnatural. So for me, it wasn't a handball. Unnatural position. But yeah.
Seeing it now.
Is my screen okay? It's on flickering there.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. They might chuck everything at this now in the last sort of 15, 20 minutes.
For the kitchen sink.
Yeah, they're gonna have to. They might.
I've got to say, I really enjoy the background you've done, Avi. Everything looks cracking.
Yeah. It's a quick little 5-minute thing. Thought I put the colours in as well, match them. But no, it's been.
No, but it's a big tournament. I think Ian Wright's comments on it were very, very good recently, very accurate, saying that there shouldn't be this disregard to African Cup of Nations. It should be looked at just the same as a European tournament, and not as much as a hindrance on a team. It should be, this is just like someone going to the Euros or the Club World Cup Championships as teams do during the year. We're literally having a World Cup in December. So
yep. And I think that's the issue, though, Conroy. I think I don't think it gets the respect because it's played in January, February. If it was played in the summer, I think there'd be more emphasis on it.
It's hard that because especially the temperatures and a lot of the nations in it as well. And
it's crazy, yeah, 100%.
And really, if you're missing 2-3 games a season, it's not the end of the world, is it? Yeah. It's not the end of the world. I do really like that they've got it on quite advertised, televised this year. I think there's been much more of a build up and a hype from maybe our point of view. I'm sure there is every year, but I've been really looking forward to it. Even like the FA Cup today being on ITV and BBC.
Yeah.
I feel like even if they could try and do something like that with the African Cup of Nations, obviously they're televised this year, which I think is great. Just to really they've promoted it more this year, which I think is key. Let people know and just build up the popularity for it.
On a bit of a break here. Number 11.
Good tackle.
Oh,
kitchen sink time, I think, for Burkina Faso.
Yep. 10 to go.
They'll just be ruining that. 2 penalties in the last 10 minutes of the half is just absolutely scunnered them, isn't it? It's really just...
That's frustrating as well. Okay, the first penalty, fair enough. Okay, it's a clumsy challenge, but getting to half time, drawing and, you can just regroup yourselves. But to go 2-1 down again.
That challenge is so stupid. It's just so stupid, that challenge.
No, good little stop there.
Burkina Faso the ball again. And then
it's been a good game so far. It's been good.
Is he in here? Oh, he's going to look at that. I don't think that's a pen challenge on... That's the person I wanted to mention.
Mohamed
Konate.
He's on.
Konate, and it's by... Is it, what's that person called again?
Is that Bassasog, is it? No, number 5 was...
Number 5
Nagame?
Yes.
Nagamalu?
I've got it here. Number 5
Nagaju.
Yeah. Nagaju. Yeah. I was thinking it was on UN, but it's not. He's number 22.
Pep Binder said it best. He told Mane, Salah, and Naby not to come back. if they don't win it. Brilliant. I thought Kravitz was going to take charge of the FA Cup game today. That's what I was told. Well, that's what was going around yesterday. And I
Yeah,
saw
I
Klopp
think-
on the touchline, yeah?
Yeah, I think they decided that this morning after the test. But in fairness, you got to look at that from the players' point of view. The youngsters, they maybe want Klopp on the sidelines to get that experience of, playing first team football. So I can understand why the maybe protocols there that if he can attend, he goes in. Actually, funny story based in Scottish football. Do you know Walter Smith, who's sadly recently
God
passed
bless him,
away?
yeah.
So Alan McCoist was his assistant manager. And what actually Walter Smith done for a lot of his last couple of years, or maybe specifically the last year before he left, is he used to sit in the stands, watch the game from there, like from the kind of bird's eye view of it, and Alan McCoist would be on the touchline.
Touchline.
And then sometimes he would come down and say, right, I've noticed this, we do that, which I think you don't really see anymore. But sometimes I think that's, one, you need to have a lot of faith and trust in your assistant. But secondly, there maybe is a bit to be said for if you're sitting up there, you can see what's going on, and maybe more than you can if you're flat level. So I've always found that to be interesting. Managers used to do that a lot more than they do anymore.
Walter Smith as well, just a side note, an absolute legend. I know he came to Everton as well, did a stint out here, and then took over the Scotland job as well. But at Rangers, that team during the 90s, Conroy,
And then bear in mind he came back and he won 3 in a row as well. And he's won. I forgot that the trophies are just outstanding.
8-9 in a row, wasn't it? He had Mark Hateley.
So it's part of that, and then he went away, and then Rangers had the experiment with Paul Le Guen. That was horribly wrong. He came in and then won
Lyon
3
as well, didn't he? Paul Le
Yeah,
Guen.
big things.
Very big reputation.
Just didn't get on. It just wasn't a good match with the players. Barry Ferguson was one of the players at that time as well.
Great. It's just a story on Barry Ferguson. I know he went to Blackburn, but he was very close, Conroy, to a move to Liverpool back then.
Yeah, he was very good at Blackburn. People forget in
yeah.
that first spell he was good at Blackburn as well, and then he came back.
I think Gerard Houllier was a massive fan during that. Yeah, it was Houllier.
Oh, he was a good player, mate. And I'm
fan.
not just saying he's a good for Scott. He was a good player. Like if you watch that season, when he gets a move, he's a central midfielder. I think he scored 20 goals that season. He was.
Ferguson.
And this is at the time when Celtic and Rangers teams were ridiculous. This is like Hartson, Larsson, Chris Sutton at Celtic.
Yeah.
You've got like your Stefan Klosses
George
Rangers. George Albert's Canijas there at that time as well.
George Albert, the Hammer, they used to call him, the Hammer.
Yeah, Arthur Newman's there at that time.
Yeah.
Ronald
Michael
De Boer.
Maltz was a good player.
Mike Moles was very good. So
they had an influx of Dutch players. Yeah, Gio Bronckhorst came. The legend that is Fernando Rickson, God bless him. Was there? They had influx of Dutch players. I remember, but Michael Maltz I thought was such a smart, intelligent footballer. He came from FC Utrecht. I think he came.
Yeah, he was very, very good.
Such a smart player. Yeah, very smart. I thought he could have played in the Premiership, to be honest. They had him, Michael. But going back to Walter Smith's first, and Brian Laudrup, Gascoigne, top players.
So Souness became the Rangers manager, and then he went to Liverpool, and Walter Smith stayed in. And became the manager. So also he was a Manchester United assistant as well, Walter Smith for a spell.
On Ferguson, round of applause for our man Vincent Abubakar. His goal comes off.
I'm annoyed he never got that hat trick with that decision, but it's the correct decision. But he would have deserved that today. He obviously had that chance later on that he skied. That he really should have passed that. But I've been impressed. I've been really impressed. He really has took the game by the scruff of the neck.
Yeah,
and I know it was the 2 penalties, pressure pens, but he really has. You could tell he's gave it everything.
Yeah, captain as well. But Rangers. That's when Scottish football. And I don't want to discredit it now, but back then because you had Sky Sports covering it, Aberdeen was still a good team as well. Billy Dodds.
But see the Celtic and Rangers players they had when you actually look at the calibre.
Larsson.
You're talking about Henrik Larsson, right? Like even before that, you've got guys like Brian Laudrup. Brian Laudrup was just like. You'd probably say Brian Laudrup is probably the second best player to play in the Scotland because Henrik Larsson. People might argue, but Larsson was just next. I think what Larsson's achieved, but Brian Laudrup was like different level as well.
God, I remember Larsson had a very nasty crucial injury as well in the Champions League game, and he came back. And the level that he got a great move to Barca. Won the Champions League, the La Liga. Got a little good stint at United. Then he went to Helsingborg.
He was the one that won the Champions League for Barcelona. He won it. Sam Eto'o, Ron, they didn't win that tournament. It was him coming on, got 2 assists for Eto'o. And
I think Henry said that as well in the post-match interview.
And Belletti, all that talent on the pitch, and they could not break them down, a 10-man Arsenal down. So that narrative needs to be said a lot more. That's when I was like, no, this guy is like different level. But even like, so if you look back at the footage, when Celtic got to the UEFA Cup final, in that season, Rangers won 3-2 in the, what's the Scottish, it might have been the League Cup final or the Scottish Cup final. And the standard is ridiculous. It's like, I think Hartson scores, then Lovenkrands equalises, then Barry Ferguson scores a free kick. And then
Peter Lovenkrands,
and
bloody hell.
Lovenkrands scores
Yeah.
in the 93rd minute, a diving header. So
I was
like, the
just thinking,
standard was
yeah.
different.
I
Like
was
it
just
was
thinking, yeah. No, I'm just
like
thinking,
it's good now. Like there's some good players. You've obviously got
yeah.
with
I think having
Rodgers and
Gerard there
Gerrard.
helped.
Yeah,
Gerard,
Rodgers.
Lennon
Rodgers was the first big one, I think, like for a while, because that was a big one. Then Gerrard coming. Then obviously, fairness, and Angie Postecoglou is like a different side of the world, but he
yeah.
brings a different style
And
of
it's good
player as
seeing
well.
Gio there as well. Like Van Bronckhorst is a
Gio was
good up and
massive.
coming manager. He's not a.
Bear
You know,
in
he's not
mind,
got
his
this.
Rangers records was one of the record signings when they sold him to Arsenal. I think it was
Yeah.
like 9 million. So to then Nathan Patterson to leave as he's there, it's
Yeah,
quite
that's good money as
to
well.
top. It is good money, and it's even that, like Gio Van Bronckhorst against Angie Postecoglou now. The style of football, it's both play good style of
Yeah.
football, slightly different. It's tactically very interesting as well. Shout out to Open Goal, the Scottish podcast. They interview a lot of the players, and their podcast really is good. It's not like they don't sit on the fence. They really talk about the game. It's really, really good. I think that's helped as well.
Lovenkrands did a stint at Newcastle, as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, because he
Good
scored a
player.
few in the Premier League, and then when they went down to the Championship, he scored a few. I think he's quite well loved in Newcastle because he scored quite a few goals in the Championship.
He was a good player. He's a good player. Yeah, it was exciting back then because Gascoigne's he was probably my first hero, Conroy, growing up. I just loved Gaza. Just absolutely adored him. I just loved the way he played football, like free spirit. You know, nothing phased him. Just wanted to play the game because he just loved it. So I always followed him, and then obviously Brown Laudrup, because Michael Laudrup was one of my favorite players. So his brother, because he was at Milan as well, didn't work out for him, and Fiorentina, Brian Laudrup, but then he gets to
He
Rangers.
used to just do stuff though, Avi. Like you know how you see some players who just
His
like
dribbling was
are
brilliant. as well.
different level to the players they're playing against. Like he just used to, some of the goals and that he just was unbelievable. Shot there by Burkina Faso.
Closing stages there.
Closing stages. That was probably the last opportunity there. Chance to get the ball in, left foot shot. Keeper saves it, and Nana catches it.
And he made a crucial save as well, Nana.
He's made up. He had a bad mistake. He's made a crucial save, and he's looked quite calm and collective in the second half for a massive win for Cameroon. As much as we're saying they're not really the underdogs in this group, however, this has been a tricky game for them.
Tricky game, yeah, 100%. And they will still play Cape Verde and Ethiopia, who actually kick off pretty much straight after this game, actually, as well.
I think they'll be fine in the group. No worries. Just a few of the comments now, folks. How do you guys think Coutinho will do at Villa? Avi, how do you think Coutinho will do at Villa?
I think he will do well. Being he'll score, if he has a return of 5 to 10 goals between now and the end of the season, 5 to 10 assists, it'll be a good spell for him. I think Gerard I think he'll operate him in a left position, I reckon, in a front three. I'm not sure in a midfield three it will work with him because he'll go with Louise, McGinn. I like Jacob Ramsey. I love Jacob Ramsey. I think he's a top player. But
I still think they might get a ball playing centre mid in January as well.
They're after Basuma, aren't they?
I thought, honestly, Glenn Kamara is very underrated. I thought they would have looked into Glenn Kamara or a Rebo, but maybe specifically
Joe
Kamara.
Rebo is a good player, Conrad, because he came from Charlton, didn't he? Came from Charlton to
but Kamara's like Steve Davis is quite important for that system he had, like a kind of metronomic centre mid ball playing constantly. So I thought Kamara might have been a purchase that he would have looked at because you could probably get him for a reasonably decent price. Aribo's been brilliant. He's probably been one of the best players in Scotland, along with Kyogo and probably Jota for Celtic.
He's scoring. He's amongst the goals, isn't he?
He looks good. Like he looks different level.
There was another player for Rangers. I like Ryan Kent. I think Ryan Kent can go.
Just inconsistent at times, Kent. That's the problem. He has spells where he's very, very good.
There was a player I wanted to pick your brain, Lubo Moravcik for
See,
Celtic.
I've heard the stories. I didn't watch a lot of them, but I heard the
Oh,
stories. He was just like
oh,
crazy.
Conroy, brilliant player. Two guy as well at Rangers.
Yeah, two guy was good. Yeah.
Maloglu, he played at Rangers.
Some
I'm gonna
player at
actually
Blackburn as well.
go to YouTube and watch there must be a video clips of
No,
Marabchik.
fair. He just used to do stuff. Just crazy stuff. Just
Nakamura was a good player as well. Japanese played for
yeah.
Celtic.
There's been there's been a few. Nakamura was a great eye. He scored that goal against Manchester United as well. But when you talk about chance to finish it, first time volley there, plays it and runs back. Went for that.
Break it. I don't want to break it. Yep. Oh,
that's I know I'm a little bit 2 seconds in front. That's the full time whistle now, Avi. So
It's
final
done.
score: Cameroon 2-1. Massive result for the host. Massive result. Man of the match for me has to be
Abubakar.
Abubakar.
It's the only player that we. It's the only player that we know.
No, we do know quite a few players because we know we know Traore. We've done a little bit of research into like Gustavo as well, who scored the first goal. Unana, you've got Kofi who's the keeper as well. And
just a few things here. Just give me 1 second to wrap up. Yes, I'm in the US. Conroy, you want to cover this one? How did you meet Grizz? Come on, Conroy, give us your love story.
I'll go first. Mine's. You can go second. Right, so I met Grizz. So thankfully, I've been quite fortunate with the Liverpool community because they've helped me a lot and got me on stuff. So I met Grizz because I'd actually been on a show before with him on Coppish, but I didn't really speak to him then. We're on at different times. But I went on Day Trippers. So shout out to Day Trippers. They've had me on and loved going on their show as well. It was great. It still is great when I go on. But what happened was Carnage was on, I think, 1 week. So I was on the Fatback 4, and then Grizz needed someone that week in Carnage. So then just talked to Grizz through that, and then thankfully it's worked out, and we've got on as a group all together quite well. And then asked me to be part to join the team, the Red Fellas at Grizz, GrizzCan TV, and it's great. See, honestly, guys, the comments are always great. The community is amazing, but every show's you enjoy it, and it really is good. So that's how I met Grizz. Abby, I think, has got another story on that.
What happened was we had our first interaction on Twitter probably about 4 or 5 years ago. It was regarding a player. There was a summer where I was told by a stupid source that we were in for Bruno Fernandes. And we just started talking over that, really, Grizz. And then, I did he always said, "Oh, have you come on a show?" I was like, "No," because I was speaking to him on the phone. And he goes, "It'd be good camaraderie because, you just make me laugh and whatnot." And then, the story is simple. Like, I did a show with him on his show, Carnage. Did a few shows with him on Carnage. And then, obviously, he's ventured out to do his own channel. And then here I am, just like sort of helping him, assisting him. Talk to him every day.
You do a lot, Avi. You do a lot. Come on, you do a lot behind the scenes as well.
Literally, it's like I said to Conroy before. It's easy all setting up this, designing the African nation sort of backsplash. You guys are the guys who bring up the content. And yesterday's show was fly. Actually, when you at halftime when you had to go, for a break at halftime, I said that yesterday's show was worth a view. Go and view it. Go and like it because it was some great. It was a great show.
He messages the group chat at 20 to 12, and he's like, "Well, I'm going to do a show."
I'm
watching Prometheus, and then he's himself for 5 minutes. So later, I'll just jump on, and then before you know it, an hour 15 minutes later.
Just a question here: why the BlueChip name? BlueChip is one of the names of my companies out here, Mark A. Just a common word out here. BlueChip is in relation to something else, but it's just the name of my company out here. I like the name. That's it, pretty much. But it's been a good, game. You guys are going off again, aren't you? Later on today.
9 o'clock. I think it's 9. I don't know if that time will change. I think it's 9 p.m. Avi. Usually it's 9 p.m. for.
Yeah, I think that's what you said. Forest and Arsenal still 0-0. Just going to look through the scores. Wolves with a 3-0 today. Podence scores 2. Nelson Semedo scores 1. West Ham, good result for them. At home to Leeds in the FA Cup, 2-0. Jared Bowen amongst the scorers and Manuel Lanzini. Spurs ran away. It was difficult for Spurs. I think they went into halftime 1-0 down. Winks, Moura, and Kane with the goals. Stoke City beat Leighton Orient. Thomas Ince, former Liverpool boy, scores, and Tyrese Campbell gets the second. Milot Rashishka scores for Norwich, and they won.
Campbell's Scottish, plays for Scotland, I'm sure.
Tyrese Campbell.
No,
Okay.
No, hold on, I'm getting mixed up. Sorry. The guy, it's a Stoke striker. It's not him. I'm getting mixed up. Apologies. Scotland. I'm going to finish it because I can't remember this. Jason Brown. Sorry, it is Jason Brown. He's the striker. Apologies, not Tyrese Campbell's a young player. I think we've looked at in the past. It's Jacob Brown. Apologies, that's the Stoke player.
No worries. Just around Europe, Roma, Juventus 1-1. Tammy Abraham amongst the scorers again. He's having a fine season.
Again. Shout out to my friend Finn. Finn, I know if you know Finn at Finners who does my show.
The little Finn, yeah.
Finners shouted out, he told me, he said, I think we should get Tammy Abraham. Now, the one thing I had about Tammy Abraham is his aerial ability, like his stats weight in the air was not great for any team. I don't know if it's changed at Roma. And that was the one thing I was a bit apprehensive, because if we're bringing someone in, we want something a bit different where maybe with the crossers we've got, we can use that aerial ability. Like, I know he can link up and stuff, but to be fair, he's proven Finners very right, because he's been a very good signing. Yeah,
he was a good player. He had a good season at Swansea, Villa
in the Championship. He was good. Yeah,
he scored like 26 and 43.
And then Chelsea for that first half, he was decently good.
And Lampard, no, he's a really good player. He's still 23, 24.
But I think that move will be good for him, because he knows he'll be starting a lot. And I feel like 35 million, was it 34 million? A lot of money actually. But
I think it's brilliant, Conroy, that youngsters now just don't stay in England. They want to go out and venture out. I look at someone like Ademola Lookman. Don't think it worked out as well as it could have out in Europe, but he went out to Germany. You know, you've seen players like
Bellingham, Sancho,
give it a go. Sancho, the Bellinghams. So it's good to see young players going out to Italy and anywhere around Europe and go and give it a go.
I'll give you a shout out. This is a bit information for you today. So I follow this account. It's like Scottish players abroad. Yeah. So see, Empoli have a player called Liam Henderson. He moved there, the Italian team, a couple of years ago. Scottish guy, played for Celtic and Hibs, I think. He moved to Empoli. Aaron Hickey, who plays for, oh my God, what are they called? Is it Torino? He scored a few goals this season. Aaron Hickey, the left back, he's only 19-20. He's moved to Italy. So there's a few players doing it. I think Fraser, is it Hornby, who played for the Scotland under 21s? He moved to, I think he's in France. Is it Rennes?
Whatever happened to there was one Jack Harper who was at Real Madrid?
Real Madrid and ended up at Brighton. Yeah. I think he was one though. I think it was more like that was a youth product thing, whereas there's some who've actually see players like Liam Henderson and stuff like that, and Aaron Hickey, they actually were playing first team football and they've moved.
A player that I've tweeted recently, and I've just followed his career because I thought when he first broke out Dundee, I thought this kid was going to be it. Ryan Gould, the Spanish Messi.
Do you know what though, right? Gould's done.
He's out here now.
I used to criticise Gould.
He's in Canada right now. Literally 2 hours away from
But he actually had a bit of a rejuvenation in his career. So he was, I don't want to bore you, Avi, or hold you up, but
no, it's cool. Totally cool. I'm here
he was part of this is where my Scottish knowledge maybe comes in handy now and again. He was part of the Dundee United team that was under Jackie McNamara, I think. And they were brilliant. So what happened was they had Stuart Armstrong from this in their team, right? Gary Mackay-Steven, right?
Ex-Liverpool player as well.
Southampton, Stuart Armstrong, midfielder. Gary Mackay-Steven, Andrew Robertson from Queen's Park, only played one season at Dundee United and then moved to Hull. People forget that, got Young Player of the Year. Yeah. Ryan Gould was in that team. And I think one of the suitors maybe as well. So think about that, right? That you've got that squad together, and then Gould was good. And then he moved to Sporting Lisbon.
And then at Firenze is where he's made his name, though.
But he didn't. He tried a few loans from Sporting Lisbon. It didn't work out straight away. But then Firenze, he was brilliant. He should have got picked for the Scotland Euro squad. I was raging. I thought that was ridiculous. He got, I think, 9 man of the matches. I think either 10 goals and 7 assists or like that for a team who's in the bottom in the relegation zone. He was brilliant in the Portuguese league. Fortunately didn't get picked, and what happened was he's not too old. He actually moved to Vancouver. I think it is a financial decision, Avi, because I think he was getting offered like 43 grand a week.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Like, he's got to think about his family, because it's very easy for me to say, but see when you're at Andrew Robertson and
he's
you move to Hull City,
he's 26
yeah, when you move to Hull City and then you move to Liverpool, within those 2 moves in a couple of years, you don't really have to work again. it's slightly different if you make a few moves, it's not worked out. So I think Ryan Gauld had to take that into consideration, go there for a few seasons. He's playing very well, enjoy it. A bit like Johnny Russell, he went to Portland Timbers, I think.
He's got 5 and 10 already.
Yeah.
White Caps. I'm gonna try and hopefully get to see him in August. Ryan Gauld. So
let me know. He is a good player. Like, he is good.
Yeah,
He's definitely improved parts of his game to fit into different systems and be effective as well. Like, 'cause he used to be a bit inconsistent, especially when he left Dundee United. So it'll be interesting to see. But I do feel like he might just do this for a couple of years and then try and get back. But I think it's a family decision. I understand that completely. Like,
Yeah.
it's really easy to say, "Oh, think like that," but then when he has to retire, he has to go and do another
But
job.
it's a nice sort of comeback story that it could have gone really horribly wrong at Sporting Lisbon. Well, it kind of did. And you can get suckered in and sort of retire from football as well. You've seen it with the youngsters.
Yeah.
Who just retire. It's too
But
much
he
pressure.
obviously understood the game. I see that many
Yeah.
years. He understood the Portuguese league, and then that's why, fair enough, it worked so well, I think.
Yeah.
But
No, and
honestly, very, very, very interesting one.
I'm closely watching him because when I heard that he was here at Vancouver, I was like, oh, that's like an hour and a half flight for me. So I'm going to definitely go. I'm going there in August anyway. So I'm hoping that I get to see him.
We should do it. If you do it, we should do it, and then have like a after match chat on, and I'll try and watch the game, and then we could do like
100%. I'll probably take over Grizz's channel and do something, and we can do it together. 100%.
Do you know that was good? It's good, mate. It's maybe what we can try and do this year as well is we talk about big matches. It might not be, but maybe like an Old Firm or something like that. Maybe just get a watch along, something like that.
The only problem with the Old Firms are they do a lot of 12:30 kickoffs,
They do,
which is
mate.
4:30 my time.
They do.
It's
they
that
do.
it's
Do you know why that is, though? Do you know why they do that?
Because they don't get drunk. They don't get.
People try the best. I mean, people will try to do it. I'm not sure if people, some people will know, but like you can't get any alcohol in Scotland at the games. Like that's been banned for 30 years. You can't get.
I think that's a good rule, though. I think that's a good rule.
So I agree. So when I went to a Liverpool game, I'm shocked when you can get.
Oh, you get one.
Yeah. But yeah, mate. I know you want to go and like crack on with your day. Maybe get a bit of a sleep now.
Sleep. Yeah, gonna catch up with them. Kit. But listen, there was some great comments in the chat. The bots were alive and kicking as well, so big respect to them. That shows me that they've got nothing to do on a Sunday morning, afternoon, evening from wherever they're trying to ruin the stream. But thanks, guys. It was a great first watch along. We will cover another game next Saturday, Sunday. I'll let Conroy choose this one. Hopefully Guinea or Egypt or Senegal are playing, or even Algeria. It'll be good to see them. And I believe Conroy, Evan, Keith, and Grizz will be back at 9 p.m. UK time for the Red Fellas show, post-match reaction, and all bits and pieces chucked in. Me and Conroy have been your hosts. Have a great day and a good start to the weekend. See you later, guys.